Oh yeah, what was off limits? Okay, so
Yes.
comedy, what's off limits? I mean, it depends on what you mean by off limits, right? Like, who's making that call? Are we talking like a government agency? Like, I'm pretty against, like government censorship of like most opinions. Like, I mean, like there are
Most.
certain, yeah, like I mean, I think there's some reasonable thing like where if like there's some reasonable lines. Obviously, I have a lot of critiques of states, whatever. But if we're going to talk about just practical right now, blah blah blah, whatever. Like I think there's some understandable limits on free speech. Specifically, like if you have like a person like running around from town to town, like whipping up an active genocide, like that to me seems like that's something that you should be able to do something against because that's like an imminent threat that could kill a lot of people. I think that's a fair thing. I think also like the crowded, the yelling fire in a crowded theater thing is also a pretty good example of like okay, like
right.
yeah, you're allowed to say that, but in certain contexts, you're allowed to say those lines, but in certain contexts, you could cause a lot of harm by means of like, exploiting the social contract, which is just like, oh, well, people
Sure.
don't want to die in a fire.
Like,
You can be prosecuted for that stuff too. It's illegal to like incite violence, and you can be prosecuted to a certain degree if your words end up causing harm.
Yeah,
but
like,
like,
you're
I don't
saying
think
stuff
I'm
we don't agree
ready
with.
to give. I just don't think I'm ready to give the government any kind of power, period, point blank, to silence any kind of like free speech when it comes to when it comes to like
Well, okay,
political
okay.
ideologies
What
and
about-
political movements. You just can't.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay, so
because then if the
American
wrong party
Nacho.
gets into power, they can abuse that.
Yes, obviously, but Nacho, how about this? If somebody
vape's dead.
says, "I
Not a nicotine.
if you don't do something,
definitely putting a
I'm
cap on
going
how
to
long
kill
this stream
you
can be."
and rape you," that kind of speech
dude,
should
that
probably
comedian
be.
would be fucking crazy if they did
I mean,
that.
anybody can say that, but I live in South Carolina, and this is an open carry state, so I'm at that point. I mean,
But
it
don't you
depends
feel
on
like-
how much further that escalates.
Don't
I
you
can
feel like that's
defend
not, like,
myself.
really,
I don't know
like-
what the.
It's not really. I don't feel like that's a really good like response to that. Like I can
I
understand.
don't know
why-
what else.
can
What else am I supposed to do in that situation? If somebody says like, "Do this," or "I'm gonna rape you," or "I'm gonna kill you," like,
Isn't that like a
I'm
death
gonna
threat?
defend
Like,
myself at that point.
If it's a credible death threat, can you just contact the police? Like,
Yeah, well, that's what I'm
you
saying.
can, you can, but they're
The police is
bro.
like
It's
a
a
way
joke.
that I would support the government getting
Okay.
involved with certain things, right?
I agree with that,
yeah,
but
we're
you can.
talking
So
about, like, the
you can
government
report
getting
these things.
involved with- Okay, you're-
So you can report these things, but it's really hard to convict on them.
I rage
as
quit, Lonnie. I died
it should be.
again.
Like
In
it-
lava.
you
I
have
also
to have
did.
some kind of like credible evidence or
quit.
some kind of like you have to have some kind of supporting evidence that would show that they're going to actually commit the act. And it kind of should be that way. Otherwise, I could just call the cops on my neighbors because they won't cut their fucking grass and be like, "Hey, they threatened to
not
kill
doing 12
me,"
days
and
of
then they just
Christmas
cart them
anymore,
away to jail
probably. Pretty
based
angry.
off of my
Need to cool
word. Like
down.
they have to
obviously.
have
Probably
their.
an
that
extreme
seems very
activist, especially
Like, they
since
don't
I
just
ran out of
put
vapes,
people
I
to
got
jail. If
nicotine.
somebody's making like
Can't stream
credible
much
death
longer
threats over
without
a
it.
period of time, you could probably get some
Gotta
sort
get
of
another
like
vape.
restraining order.
Ah,
or
shit, we
something.
don't have
You
enough
can.
money for
You-
another
Like,
vape.
that's-
it has to be like a repeated thing. Like, they're not
But-
going to just go, "Hey, this guy."
But that's what I'm
fucking tried
saying.
to-"
But,
yeah.
but that's what I'm saying. That's already in the law.
Oh, I'm
like
out
this
of
is
vape.
already
I
common
rage
law
quit
in
Minecraft,
almost every
and
state.
we don't have enough money to buy another vape.
Well, but we're
So I
not
said.
really talking about what's law, right? We're talking about like, okay, what the question is like, what's off limits? Now, if we're talking about the state again, I think it's like it ends up being just like a weird legal back and forth. But I think that like if we want to talk about this like in a semi-serious way, like I think that there's like a lot of reasons why people have very good reason to be bothered by certain types of comedy, and also why like websites and stuff have certain restrictions on certain types of comedy. Like I mean, people do a lot of really horrible stuff, and people inspire a lot of really fucking horrible social outcomes using comedy as a shield. And I think that,
Lonnie
that
Gaming
like
Clutch.
it's
Yeah,
understandable.
but generally, people who are grifting like that with some
Well, let her
political
finish.
motive
Wait. Let her finish.
aren't gonna gain traction like that.
Well, that's
We
not
didn't let her.
true. Yeah. So there's
Let's let her
Sorry.
finish her full thing.
So I disagree with that. We literally just watched like a Steven Crowder video where the entire joke was just gay people die from AIDS. He made that joke multiple times, which is like really fucked. And to me, that just seems like blatant hate rhetoric. I don't really care. I would not argue for him to be censored by the state, but I can completely understand why a website
during
like
a panel,
YouTube
Lonnie.
might say, wow, this is like not something we want to have as a part of our like brand, especially like a major account. So like there is this problem where it's like I don't really think there's a way to make like a universalized rule for all speech that's going to work in every single situation. but I can understand why there are certain limits to what is
can't
considered
hear me at
funny.
all?
And also,
My
I
volume says I'm
recognize
peaking.
that people have the right to
I
not
can't
like
get
a joke
louder. There's
for
no
a
way to
lot
make
of
me louder,
reasons.
Lonnie.
And like if there's demonstrable harm from a joke, that like causes demonstrable harm, it's not just a joke anymore because it's caused some demonstrable harm. Obviously, we should have some standards for that, but like I can completely understand if like I don't know, you're part of like a community that has experienced like a violent act that like you would not be okay with, and you would want to draw a line at like people making jokes about like the genocide of your people or something.
Can we like have an example of one time that a joke led to like demonstrable harm? Like,
Oh, I mean, I think there's a lot of times
like
that you can-
factually, yeah.
Oh, like an individual joke did
Yeah,
X thing.
like where we can like point from like X, Y, Z, which
I mean, it depends on how far you're going to go with harm. Like, I think there's a lot of examples of that. I think that you can. I think that like homophobic
are too
jokes
slippery.
have done a lot of harm over time. And like maybe not one single joke, but like there are numerous like gay politicians, gay public figures who
I would argue that they normalized it more than anything.
No. Oh, come on. That's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I mean-
Okay, so all right, if that's so, why don't you make a joke with like the N-word right now? That won't be racist. That'll normalize it, right? Like what the fuck? No.
I mean, well,
That's
I wouldn't make a joke about the N-word because of TOS. Like, if I was
Yeah.
starting a joke with the
Yeah,
N-word, then
I'm-
I'd say it.
So one
That
thing
might just
I
work.
and I'm pretty sure the reason YouTube puts their foot down so hard is because, well, not because they want to make a
It's
public statement on
advertisers. It
because
doesn't have anything-
advertiser pressure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
but we're not
advertisers
talking
are
about-
part of the fucking 1%. They don't give a fuck about the general population.
Okay,
Are you kidding me?
we've spun off
only
into
get-
like
they
something. We've spun
Well,
off.
They
I
give a
think
shit what
Nachos-
affects their
I think
bottom
Nachos
line.
on
The reason why these companies shill so hard for the left and have been pandering as much as they have been, it is pandering. Corporations doing what they do. The Pride Month flags only in countries where they're okay with gay people.
Well,
Like
and
it's
the
pretty obvious these companies are just trying to pander. But I would argue, in the way that you're arguing that jokes can help normalize a certain group, I would argue that certain jokes can also normalize hatred towards certain groups. At least that's how it's been in every case I've met somebody who was like pulled to the far right, the alt-right rabbit hole or whatever.
mean-
it all started with like the normalization of certain ideas.
I was
through
I was
humor,
following
right?
you
Are we
until
talking about
you.
comedians or
Hold
YouTubers?
on. But the fact of
Like,
the matter is that every single time, right, the comedian themselves telling the joke is not responsible for the life experiences and the interpretation of language that the person that took that message that was meant as comedy into some other fucking thing. That's just ridiculous. To try to
CTV,
hold
wait,
them to
wait,
that
wait.
standard.
CTV, do you like George Carlin?
technically-
Do you like George Carlin?
Yes.
Would you say he was a comedian who made a lot of jokes?
Yeah.
George Carlin was known for, while yes, he was funny and he made a lot of jokes, the jokes that he made weren't just jokes that weren't meant to be taken seriously. When he went on a rant about, I don't know, pro-lifers or whatever, he was genuinely serious. He was ranting about a group of people that he had genuine problems with. He was making genuine good arguments, and the joke isn't just meant to be taken as a joke. You're supposed to derive some kind of argument from it. And that's the same argument I would make, because I know that this is somewhat related to it. The Dave Chappelle thing. No one's upset that Dave Chappelle was making edgy jokes. People were upset that the point of the jokes, the arguments he was making, were transphobic. That he was arguing against the idea of trans people being valid. And that's where I have an
Oh,
I
issue.
think he was
Yeah,
arguing
it's a
against
joke.
them being
Hold on,
valid. I
hold
think
on.
he was
I was
arguing
asked- I was
in
asked the
favor of
question.
himself
I
being
was asked
valid.
the question, Nacho, right? So,
Yeah, go ahead.
fact of the matter is, you're just
Himself
sitting there
being valid?
complaining, right, about the art of comedy at this point, right? And you haven't given me anything as to why comedy needs to have any kind of restriction on it. All you're still pointing out is like, I don't like this form of something, so we're not going to do this, right? So,
So
and
if
your
I-
justification through demonstrable harm, you haven't given an example of that, right? So, like, I still have no reason whatsoever to ever consider, even though I don't,
Okay.
I
I've
don't
actually-
personally like dead baby jokes, but I don't think there needs to be like it needs to not be as a part of the fucking comedy realm because there are other people that find it funny. You know, I think that it all has to be allowed in comedy because when you bring it into comedy, you normalize the language for people to be able to start talking to one another and being a part of like the whole fucking comedy of the fucking world is to be a part of the fucking world.
Okay, well, I kind of, I see where people are coming from. I just want to point something out. There's a difference between being a comedian on a stage or whatever,
Thank
and then
you.
people will know, like, okay, I don't want to watch that person. They make edgy jokes. But let's say, for example, you're on Twitter and you're a trans person, and someone comes and makes jokes about, certain things which a sensitive issue, that's different. You're forcing that on someone. You're putting it in someone's face, and yeah, you can block them, but it's still a shitty thing to do. So whilst I'd argue that, yeah, okay, it's a joke or whatever, you're still trying to hurt someone by doing it, because you're targeting and directing it at someone that you feel it's going to have an impact on, rather than just making a joke broadly and maybe accidentally upsetting someone.
There's that.
Yeah,
and
so
then
I
also
can.
there's-
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Do you... I just had
okay,
something I
yeah.
wanted to say, it was from something before we moved
Yeah,
on.
go ahead,
but-
go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, I can think of it. Nick DeOrio asked for an example of a joke that that has done demonstrable harm. I think one that's really obvious is gay people being pedophiles. It's not a joke that's told by a single person, but it's repeated, and people think that it's real because why else would you joke about it? What makes that funny is that that's just they think there's a truth in that, and that is that has legitimately been used as the justification for deeply harming a lot of gay people, just because it's an ancient joke. It's gay people are.
Is the origin of that a joke, or was that just something that was used?
Does it matter if the origin was?
Well, yeah,
I don't think it matters.
Because if it's just
That's how it's used today, right?
Okay, but
No, actually, I see Nick's point here. It's the Holocaust thing, right? Initially, the original Holocaust denial was not a joke, right? But somebody took it and made it a joke to make it more palatable, right? So that's, I see where Nick's point is.
If you just turn around
here.
and go gay people are pedophiles, everyone will go, what the fuck? If you joke about gay
Yeah.
people being pedophiles, that's still pretty bad. I
I don't
How
know.
about this? Actually,
Literally, Steven Crowder, we watched it just before this panel. Steven Crowder literally did that twice. He just said gay people are pedophiles, because you're gay, you're grooming children.
All right, back to the
so I don't know.
though.
It's a joke, but it's is it really a joke? This is the
All right.
area where I get really
Yeah.
critical about
So-
comedy.
It's still up to society.
We can't just
It-
hold
it's
on.
not-
Steven Crowder isn't the definition of comedy. When we're talking about
I agree.
comedians like Dave Chappelle and stuff like that, there are
Yeah,
people who
Dave
are on a stage who do funny shit and occasionally get political, or more often, yeah. Then there's people who literally do politics for a living and they try to weave in humor to make their politics more palatable. Those are two vastly
Sure.
different things.
I don't know. I don't see as much of a line between that, I guess. I don't see that there's as clear of a line between those things.
There's a
Especially
reason why you think Dave Chappelle is probably funny in most places. Probably, I don't know what your opinion on him is, but I would probably say that if you watch any of his stuff, you'd probably think that he's funny most of the time, and that you don't think Steven Crowder is funny most of the time. It's because it's different. Steven Crowder used to be a stand-up comedian, but he's been doing politics for a really long time.
But he does a political comedy show. That's how he
That's what I'm
frames
saying.
the show.
But that's not as
how is that? This is a distinction without a difference. It's just people doing
because it
using
sucks.
comedy.
You're gonna have right and left political pundit comedy shows like that.
I don't know.
Some of them,
is if there are
most of them
certain humor
suck. The only one who
promoting
the one who did it the
none
best
of that
was
has-
Jon
that-
Stewart, and it's because
none
he
of that has
picked
anything
on
to do
both
with what I'm
sides.
talking about here. It's nothing to do with what I'm talking about here. at all.
It's about
That's why
comedy,
I'm
though.
here.
That's the point.
Wait, we're
If
talking-
you're pointing to Steven Crowder as your source for who does it the worst, that's a good.
No, I
No, I
good
would
for
not
you
say
because
Steven
he's
Crowder.
not a
Wait a minute. Wait a
comedian.
minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a
He-
minute.
he
It doesn't
calls
matter if
used
they're a
to be.
comedian or
He's
not.
referred to as
Wait. It doesn't matter if they're a comedian or not, right? Nick Fuentes makes jokes about the Holocaust being not being real all the time, right?
Sure, and he has no audience.
I don't
he's
know.
lost. He's
Nick-
Listen,
lost
for
a
No.
someone who's been
Nick's
as banned
just
from everything
banned
as
from
him,
many
he's doing
places.
pretty well.
He's
Yeah,
lost
if
a
he
lot of
shows up at a
support, and he's
rally,
been
people will walk with him. so,
sure, but he's
yeah.
lost a lot of
Okay,
support, and he's been banned from everything. So
Okay,
that's
I
a
just feel like
social
we're talking
response
about
that
two-
everybody had to him.
That's not what we're asking though, right? The fact is that again,
Well-
the joke didn't start off as a joke, right? What he's saying didn't start off as a joke. He turned it into a joke to make it more palatable to the audience that he has.
I understand
Yeah,
that, but
they
the
use
point that I'm trying to
comedy
make is
as a
that
vehicle
that
to deliver
society,
everything.
that free speech is the mediator of free speech. Free speech is what dictates free speech. That's the point. That's all I'm trying to say here.
But come on, that feels like a very naive view of things, right? Because
But
we all
that's how-
know
but
that well, no, it's
that's
not
how it's
it
working,
works.
though,
You could say
right?
that's how it works, but that's not true because we know that some people have way more freer speech than other people, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, but
For
you're pointing at people like Nick Fuentes and Steven Crowder who have lost audiences.
Wait, no. First of
Crowder?
all, hold on a second. No, I literally
Crowder
just
has lost audience too.
Stop! Oh my God! Shut the fuck up,
Dude,
dude.
I
you have to
haven't
let
said
people
shit for a long
finish.
fucking time. She's
Like,
talked
are you, like-
so fucking much.
Okay, wait,
Jesus
Nacho,
Christ.
Nacho,
I've been
Nacho,
interjected
Nacho,
like
Nacho.
twice.
Wait a minute.
Cart
Okay,
that old one
okay.
out.
God.
Damn.
Wait a
Put it
minute.
on the
Wait
bingo,
a minute.
guys.
Everybody shut up. Okay, it's my show. Okay, I understand that you want to get your word in, Nacho, but I think it's important to let people finish what they're saying before you interject.
Well, if they go every time she says anything, she goes on for 15 fucking minutes. I've been talking
Okay.
for like 10 minutes waiting to get in here, and I finally said something.
That's accurate. I don't think that's been accurate at all.
Fucking
Are
check
you,
the
like-
VODs, okay? As soon as StarDust said let her finish, I let you finish, and then it was like 15 minutes, okay?
Okay, let's just move on. I was gonna bring up Jeff Dunham as somebody who I grew up. I don't know if you guys remember Jeff Dunham. He's the one who did the dead terrorist,
He's the guy with the
puppet thing.
right?
I'm sorry. I know it's like a little tense in here, so I'm just trying to move past.
Tense is good. It's chaos.
Yeah, I know, but it's like
Yeah,
not
like-
the tension I was aiming for, but
Yeah.
okay. So is right. So I was thinking of Jeff Dunham because it seemed like when I was growing up and I was like 12 and I would see this guy making jokes about this like a puppet he had that was a dead terrorist. Like yeah, he's making fun of specifically like I guess a terrorist, but
Welcome to
to
capitalism.
me
Holy
it felt
shit.
like part of it
Oh my god. Sonia.
part of it felt like a racial
Holy
stereotype.
fuck, now I can afford it.
And
Jesus.
I don't remember
you.
seeing a lot of people outraged at that.
Thank you.
You know,
It was a
What year
different
was what year
time.
was that? Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
but that kind of speaks to what I was saying too, right? Which is like
Jesus,
that it's
$100.
not easy
Thank
to
you so
always
much,
tell
Sonia. Thank
what
you.
is a joke.
You're on the
versus
server,
what
right?
is
I'm pretty
a
sure you are.
joke.
Actually, I know
And
you are.
these
I
things
remember
are
typing
commonly
in
used that
your
way.
whitelist.
And like I don't know.
If somehow you're not, hit me up.
I think that there's this. I think comedy is like a really complicated subject. I think a lot of people want to take like very absolutist positions, like all jokes are okay, or
I'd be
or like
freaking out way
all
more right now if I
racist
wasn't on the
jokes or
panel.
potentially racist jokes are not okay. I just think the truth is that there's like a lot of context, and I actually think that the Jeff Dunham thing is a really fucking good example because like let's be real, like that the reason nobody had a problem with that was because like America was like in the middle of like a really racist
yeah, it was like
upsurge.
1 or
Yeah.
2 years, after 9/11, everybody was still reeling from it. Yeah.
So DemonMama,
And that's
just to bounce
racism,
off
though.
of that, like, so how would you, if you were in control of everything, how would you handle that better than the way society handles it now?
Well, I mean, I don't think there's a single way that society handles it right now. I don't think there is. Like, I think the way that I would handle is the same way I handle things like this right now, which is that I would make my opinion on it heard. Like, I did a response to the Dave Chappelle transphobia thing, and I was like, dude, first of all, this comedy special sucks. This is like really transphobic jokes. They are transphobic jokes. Should he be able to say them? Sure, I'm perfectly fine with him being allowed to say them. But like, that's fucking shit. And if people are frustrated at that, they have every right to be. And the fact that Netflix was willing to sign that and do that, that's
Then what are
that's
we
fair
talking
game.
about? That was the whole point of the question. Like, you just said he should be
I mean,
allowed
like,
to say
so
them.
you
No,
have
not
powers on, you're
really.
allowed
I
to
was
give-
Yeah, so I was just asking, like, what's off limits for you? I don't think I was specifically asking about, like, government.
No, but that's my point, though. 'Cause,
Yeah,
like, in the beginning,
yeah.
it was like government ban, like, saying fire in a crowded theater, like, as if anyone
Well,
disagrees
yeah.
with that. But yeah, I agree with
Yeah.
you. Like, if you don't like it
I
and you
don't-
think it's, and you want to point it out,
Yeah,
like,
tune out.
that's how we handle it. I mean, like, I know these aren't jokes, but the writer of Harry Potter has written some crazy unhinged shit, and now the people that she's worked with in the past on those projects don't want to work with her anymore. That's the response to what she said.
Yeah,
you know what I
that's-
mean?
That-
So I
that
think
happens
society.
Okay. Okay. So we sit here. I've literally been sitting here for 20 minutes, right? So we sit here, and the last thing that I said is I see no justification for there to be any type of limits on comedy. When asked directly, which is DemonMama spearheading this thing, right? When asked directly, what would you do? The answer was, well, I don't think society is doing anything right now, and I'm not going to do anything either. So it just seems
Was that
like
my
it's
response? Is that what I said? I don't think that's what I said.
essentially, yeah, like when you break down like the 15 minutes into like a couple of sentences, that's how it happens. right? Is you
All right,
said
everybody.
you wouldn't do anything for it. You wouldn't bring forth any legislation to actually do anything. You still
much
think
random
Dave
shit the
Chappelle should be able
pod's
to tell
down.
these
Just
jokes.
random
So
shit.
you
It's
have
fun.
no solution, and society already has no solution, right?
It's a
I
And
get it. I
solutions-
know. I
these
get it.
things,
Demon
hold on,
Mama
these
bad. I
things-
know. Demon Mama bad. I
These
get it.
things, to go back to what Nacho was saying earlier about the markets, right, which is the people listening to the jokes deciding whether or not it's a good or bad joke is all about their reaction. If they laugh, then guess what? It's comedy. It's good comedy, right? If they don't laugh, it's bad comedy, and people go, that motherfucker's on some other shit. He needs to change his material around. He picks up the vibe from that. If he's trying to appeal to the crowd and make some fucking money for jumping up on a stage and running his mouth for a little bit, then that's exactly what he's going to do. Right? So the structure of how it gets fixed is in the system already. The difference here is, instead of fearing that somebody's feelings are going to get hurt, you need to have faith, right, that people are going to give genuine reactions and then hold people accountable for the shit that they do by way of their dollars, right, in most cases, because they're not going to spend money on bad comedy.
I don't think any of us have really necessarily disagreed with the idea that people should have they should have like the right to say what they say, right? But just as they have the right to say what they say, anybody else has the right to say that they dislike that and say the reasons why they dislike it and why they find it harmful, right? I think that's basically what Demon Mama was saying.
That's what I said to begin with.
Well, then we're
Society
not
will
disagreeing. Yeah,
society
no
will
one's
I
disagreeing.
decide.
disagree with is bringing Netflix.
Right,
into
but then there
it,
was like
bringing
a
the sponsors into it, bringing corporate
20-minute
entities.
monologue.
I don't like that shit.
Well, but wait, but the sponsors brought themselves into it, right? Like, if you sponsor someone and they say some dumb shit and you're their sponsor, that's literally the point of a sponsorship.
I'm
like,
sure it's in their best interest to drop you, but I mean, I don't think.
Well,
these
but it's not
gigantic
just
corporate
it's not
entities
just in
give a
their
fuck about
well, it's
us.
not just in their best interest to distance themselves from you. It's also like, I mean, don't the people who buy that product also have a right to be like, hey, like I'm a fan of your product, but this shit suck, man. Like, I feel like, I don't know, this is the whole thing that gets lost in this conversation. I think that there's lots of ways to voice your opinion, and some of them can involve you losing your sponsors. And I'm not like, I don't know, I guess I don't get that bothered if Netflix makes a really, really stupid idea and runs a really, really bad special and it bothers some people, and those people say like, hey, you guys shouldn't do a deal with him again because it sucks. I don't
There's
think
a
there's anything
difference
wrong with any
between
of that.
like them doing a
Yeah,
bad special and people
kind of like the
unsubscribing on their
cuties thing,
own,
right?
and then
Like,
starting like a whole thing to get people to leave.
Why? What's the difference? Because like, I would argue that there's not a difference, because like if he did the special that has all of the shit that bothered a lot of people in it, like they have just as much of a right to react, and maybe they're going to talk to each other and say, yeah, we want to get you taken down, buddy.
Yeah, I just
I don't
think
know.
it's-
It's a similar example then.
I just wish
what
they
is
would
your
have all
stance on-
collaborated whenever they released Cuties. I wish I would have seen a walkout from the Netflix workers for that shit too.
Okay. To be fair about Cuties, if we're gonna be real
When
about
did
Cuties,
DemonMama
there have
change her
been
name to
movies made on the
Amamomed?
coming of age of boys all the time. The moment that they make a coming of age movie on girls, everybody loses their fucking minds. It's not like we haven't seen movies like this before. And men have always had movies cater towards them that happen to have.
Are there
kids in
movies that
them.
literally depict actual young boys in the exact same manner, the same way?
Yes,
Pretty much,
there's
yes.
plenty.
In fact,
That were like
Evangelion.
debuting, that were
Yeah, wait,
debuting in
Evangelion.
20
Classic.
fucking 21 when
Yep.
we're aware of all this shit and when we're aware of like the scope and the magnitude of like the Epstein trial going on and all this other shit. We know how big this shit gets. And we're still
think,
making
like,
this in the
wait,
face
did
of
you
this.
watch
We're
the
using
movie?
actual real actors.
watch the movie?
At the very least,
Did you
we
watch
could
the
get like
movie?
18-year-old actors who look
Did
younger.
you watch the movie?
I didn't actually watch the movie. I watched
You didn't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so you're basing it off of a
watched the
trailer.
entire fucking dialogue of everything that people watch the movie. I'm not gonna watch that shit because I didn't want to. Like, I don't
Okay,
need
it's-
to. I read every
it's-
fucking
it's
paper
a-
I am
about the
going
whole
to
you
publicly
thing.
declare my opinion on something I don't know
there's
anything about.
Cuties movie
There's
from
nothing
Netflix,
needs to be
Bond.
more said than you have actual 12-year-olds and actual 8 to 12-year-olds.
We've had that for centuries.
How are we?
We've had that for centuries.
So that makes it better now?
So what
Like,
about
oh,
these other
No, I'm
people
just
that
saying,
make it better?
how come boys
Okay,
boys get to
so
have
these
these
are-
movies that
No.
are coming of age movies for them,
So-
but girls don't get to have
That
coming
doesn't
of
make it
age?
right.
Stardust.
That doesn't make it right for them. If you
Stardust,
had
where do you
actual
stand on the
dudes
movie?
pretending to whatever, do whatever. any kind of sexual acts like that.
Alright,
I would be the
Stardust,
same
what-
upset if
Plenty
it
of
was coming
movies
out
that
today.
do
I would be
that,
just as
though.
upset. I would be just as upset if that was coming out today. Excuse me, as I would be of this
How-
coming out today. The
how
fact
many
that it was
movies-
coming out in a different
I haven't
era.
seen it.
boys jerking
I haven't
off.
seen it.
Yep.
Sure, but that doesn't mean that I'm okay with them using those
Yeah,
actors
but
to
you
do
just
that.
don't.
Like,
You just don't give a shit until it's convenient
It's
for you
a-
to make like a big
No.
scene
A
about it.
gigantic viral fucking
we're
moment.
in
You
the
have people
middle
had an
of the
opportunity
Epstein
to give a
shit,
about
and
it.
Guys,
and
okay.
this is like, oh well, this is fine.
Stardust is
Nobody
on-
nobody
Stardust
cares
is
about
on
this.
point with this.
But like, God
Guys,
forbid
guys.
we make a joke about somebody who's actually from somebody who's
Basically
actually a comedian,
2022
and now we want to be
Caesar.
outraged. And
I have
now,
no idea.
the,
This
now,
sounds- this
now the
literally is
workers at
boomer
Netflix want
tier,
to like
like,
be
wow,
outraged.
what happens? First you make a joke about,
They don't
want to
be outraged about the
cuties, and then all of a sudden Miss
the
Butterworth is
actual
gone.
The actual fact that we actually had a serious like pedophile ring being busted
What
and all
does
this crazy
Epstein
shit
have to
happening
do with
in,
cuties? What does Epstein have to do with any
because
movie about
we
kids?
found out that it was like a super serious thing, and then like not even
Yeah,
like
it is
6
a
months
super
later, whatever the
serious
fuck it
thing.
was,
Pedophilia
this shit
was
is
a
just
super
dropped on
serious thing?
fucking Netflix. Like, hey,
It
by
is
the
a
way,
super serious thing, but it's not
here's some
about
more-
cuties. Are you kidding
let's
me?
let you-
How
let's
does
let you
cuties have
watch us-
anything to do with
let's
Epstein?
let you watch us do it in
Cuties
real
was on
time.
the flight log, Stardust. You
Okay,
wanna
guys,
look it up?
guys.
Let,
Hold on, hold
let's
on.
let you
Before
watch
we-
us do it
Can
in
I get in
real
here for just a
time.
second? Hold on. I just want to
And
remind
those
you that
and those were just the actors that were in Cuties. Those were just the ones who made it. Imagine all the other fucking actors where they had to
This
sit there in
is
the fucking director's
you-
room and they had to be
this-
like,
this
okay,
is you
now,
saying this,
now,
again, not having
let you
watched
watch,
any of
let you
it.
watch our choreographers teach you how to twerk. Okay, now I want you to pretend how to twerk. Okay, now I
wait,
want
wait,
you to
wait,
like
is that your
grab your
problem?
crotch
Holy
for the
Oh no!
audition.
Young
Okay,
girls
okay.
twerking, that's a huge
Hey,
issue when girls at the
12-year-old
age of 10 are getting into palms in high school and junior high school. Are you fucking
What
kidding
their
me?
okay? The lack of their
They're
parents like being able to
cheerleaders.
like
They're
control their
cheerleaders at the
shit.
age of 12.
That's not good
Okay.
either. That's not
Hold on.
healthy either
Yeah,
for
just
them to be
notice that you-
twerking
wait,
And maybe
anywhere.
I'm just used to being
wait!
objectified.
I want to say something.
Jesus
Finally.
Christ.
Listen. You don't want to know what's funny about this? First of all, this motherfucker hasn't even watched the movie, so he doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't even know what the movie's about.
I'm
He's
not
like,
gonna
"Oh, it's
watch that fucking degenerate shit.
Secondly, it's really funny to me that you would complain about like cuties apparently being offensive to you, and then
Bring up
you would
child
make a
marriage laws.
comparison between
All I said
and
was that
raping
I wish
children on
I
an
said I
private
wish
island.
that
You're an
Netflix
idiot.
workers would have walked
You are a
out
moron.
for that. All I said was that I wish Netflix workers would have walked out for that too.
Damn,
That's what I said.
good thing they caught Epstein, so you knew to stop raping kids. Jesus fucking Christ, man.
Jesus Christ.
I haven't seen Cuties, but I will say that everything about the marketing for that movie was definitely pretty sussy, especially the poster.
Nobody
but that has
had.
nothing- But
like,
from my
no.
understand, but I will say from my understanding of things, because I did read about it when the discourse happened like a year and a half ago. Apparently, the lady who made the movie said the movie is supposed to be like meant to bring attention
understand
to the
what it's supposed to be.
over-sexualization.
Okay,
But
it could be
I
like,
understand
okay,
it's
You had enough
okay,
a little bit
I-
distasteful
I
in
understand the
execution.
point
from what
of the
I've
movie.
seen.
Okay, the point was to point out that how social media affects things and how the culture is affecting
Next.
things. But
You're
that's
next,
like
Nick,
making
okay?
a movie. It's like making a movie to point out how bad murder is and murdering somebody in the actual making of the film. Like,
No-
what the
nobody
fuck
got
are you
raped in
talking
it.
American
about?
Nacho, have you ever
Nobody
seen a
got
Serbian
raped in
film?
the making of the film.
12-year-olds, and you actually showed them and taught them and choreographed how for them to like twerk and grab their
I'm
crotches
gonna tell
and
you
do all
this.
these sexual
I'm
shit.
sorry, Nacho.
Like,
I'm
what
gonna
are
tell
you
you something
talking
right
about?
now. I'm gonna tell you something right now. Okay.
Holy
You don't.
shit.
No. Okay. Wait a second. No adult teaches you how to twerk. Okay. When you're 11 at the school dance, you learn from the other girls. It doesn't matter. We all fucking
Okay.
knew. We were shaking our asses at 11. Continue, Nick. Your turn.
No,
All
we
right.
weren't.
All right,
Okay,
I'll try to
You
explain.
weren't.
nobody
I
at
was
my
shaking
school.
my
When
ass
you
when I was
grow
little.
up
wasn't-
as a
twerking
female,
wasn't a
I'm
thing
sorry.
yet,
I'm
okay?
sorry. Wait a minute. You can shut the fuck up, okay? I'm sorry. Just a second. When you grow up as a female, you learn to deal with being objectified from a very young age. I can tell you that from a very young age, I didn't consent to being objectified, but I was, okay? I learned how to grind my ass on the dance floor
Okay.
at 11. No adult taught me that, okay?
All right. So just want to say one thing. I'll try to make this point without alluding to Jeffrey Epstein, Pizzagate, or any of those other things.
Pizzagate and other random shit are
Okay,
fucking
wait.
fictional
Okay,
nonsense.
Nacho,
okay?
you're
Epstein was a
interrupting
real
again.
thing.
Okay.
Nacho,
all right.
you're interrupting again.
Okay. So Apparently, it was some big meta commentary on like child exploitation. I just think that could have been accomplished better without child exploitation. That's all I'm saying. I don't think any people got raped on set. I don't. That's my only issue with the film.
Okay.
They just got.
Thing I want to say about
What?
this, I think that it's really ironic that like a lot of the people who are like this movie is offensive, then will do this weird thing where they smudge what actually happened. So as far as I
Yeah,
understand it in the
shenanigans,
film,
yeah.
there was a
That's a
scene that
problem.
had girls twerking that was shot with parents present, with choreographers present, with like numerous
Like that makes it
people there.
better.
Wait, stop. Shut the fuck up. Okay? Yeah, actually it does.
Their parents
The
were
reason-
watching, so that makes it okay,
Shut
right?
the fuck up.
Hold on.
Nacho,
DemonMama.
can you?
Do you think that like it's like some sort of exploitation?
I literally haven't been able to finish a sentence for.
Yeah.
I haven't
probably,
talked in like 30 minutes either. I just
You were just talking.
Yeah, it was like.
What are you
5 I had a
talking
little-
about? You
I had a
people are
little blip,
delusional.
DemonMama.
I'm having a stroke.
That's fine. I'm just gonna finish what I'm talking about. So, what do you think? Like, do you think when there's like those dance moms?
You
who have their
literally
kids go to
interrupted me to
pageants-
start your point, dude.
Yes, I did. I'm gonna
Logic
continue doing it. So, like, do you
changing
think
poses.
those
Alright,
dance
fuck you,
moms who
people.
go to pageant? Oh, all right, whatever. All right. You know what I'm talking
Wait,
about?
let's let
having
Demon Mama finish her point, and then you can ask her a question, Nick. Okay?
Yeah, my
started twerking
point
when I was
is that
4
like
because of
yeah,
MTV
in a
music
movie
videos.
for a movie set,
Sheesh.
having like a bunch of people on hand to make sure there isn't any like sexual harm being done. These kids were, as I understand it, like kids who were familiar with the pageant
Twerking when
scene, which is like
legal
what was-
adults do it is
I think
pretty
it was
base,
a pageant or dance off scene that's being criticized there. Having kids be able to depict something for the purpose of a film that is going to teach people about that is not the same thing as like having these kids like ushered off so some dude can film this shit. It's not filmed to be pornography. They're dancing. Yes, is it suggestive dancing? But no, it's for a purpose that's not involved in exploiting the children. And their parents are there, the children are there to make informed decisions with their parents there to say, hey, this is for an
Wait,
act.
children make informed decisions now?
Why can't they use
you
18-year-old
really
young
are a fucking
actors?
stupid
That's
cunt,
all.
aren't
That's
you?
my only question.
Holy
I don't have a
fucking shit.
problem with the
What
message.
the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, obviously it wasn't shot in a fucking porn studio and the parents were all there to sign off on it. The parents are all there during those little pageant shows where their fucking 60-year-old mothers drag their kids on there to fucking dance
Yeah,
on the stage.
wait. Thank
weirdly.
you. Thank you for making my argument for me. So what
You're
I'm saying is
welcome.
a film that makes that says, hey, we're going to do this in a safe way. We're going to depict something that's real so that people will learn about it, so that it will stop happening. You're saying that shouldn't be done.
So cuties ended sexual exploitation of children
Oops.
now.
Oh,
Okay.
oops!
Let's give them an award.
Did you notice that my sentence hadn't finished there, little bit boy? You noted a big
Yeah,
sentence.
I did. That's why I intruded.
Dude, you're a
sentence
cunt.
never fucking finishes, man.
I don't.
Wait, why
I
is there
don't know
silence?
about
Happy-
that.
I thought you were
happy to-
talking.
I
Guys.
was before you opened your mouth.
So then
and
keep
interrupted.
going. I'm waiting.
I don't really want to.
Okay, that's good.
I would like to add something. I do think there's a discussion worth having about what are the bounds of taste when it comes to depicting in like the form of a TV show, movie, anything like that, of a very problematic thing, right? So, for
look.
example, there's a movie. Well, let me finish really quick. I haven't talked much
Okay.
to this panel. There's a movie called A Serbian Film. I will not be watching it. My girlfriend tried to convince me to watch it, and she said, "Don't look up the ending. Don't look up the ending." And I was like, oh. And I didn't look up the ending. And then a friend spoiled it for me. And I did not want to watch that movie because the ending of that movie, spoiler alert, don't watch it. So listen to the spoiler, is the main character ends up being tricked into, I believe, raping his wife and son. And that's how the movie ends. And the movie's about sex trafficking and like children being exploited by basically exploitation in the sex work industry. That was generally what the movie is about, from my
that's a bit
understanding.
spicy,
And
isn't it?
it's pretty graphic. It's definitely a movie that'll leave you feeling pretty fucked up if the ending is anywhere near as fucked up as my friends described it to me. And I'm not watching that movie, and I'm not watching Cuties. But I do think there's an argument to be made that as long as there's a discussion being had, it's worth bringing up this issue. Though I will say, within the bounds of taste is preferred, because I'm not really. I don't know.
It was made to be a big, shocking public statement, and guess what? People reacted as if it was a big, shocking public statement.
Well, we don't know the intent of the creator in regards to that, but what I will say is Netflix certainly fucked up on the marketing. Netflix seems
can
to
live
have
with that.
done a
I
lot
can
of bad
live with
things.
So
Conversation,
if I
though.
I don't have any. Sorry,
okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing. We were just talking about what's appropriate, what's off bounds in comedy, right? And I think most people here have said pretty much everything, nothing is off limits, right? So I would say, like, as long as nobody's getting
That's
hurt
not the ending.
and the parents
Well, it's
are
towards the end,
aware,
apparently.
and there is a conversation, a nuanced conversation happening in a piece of art or something, do we apply the
Not watching
same
that movie.
rules that we do with comedy to other types of media?
I don't when kids are involved now.
Yeah, that's my
yeah.
thing. I don't have a problem. That's what I was trying to like clarify. I don't have a problem with the messaging of Cuties. I read the script. I read all the fucking shit about it, like the entire fucking storyline. I know all that shit. I don't have any desire to watch it because they used actual 8 to 12-year-olds. That's what I was trying to point out. Like, use some fucking 18-year-olds. Use some people who are of fucking legal age to body doubles. Anything. Like, don't actually teach young girls to do this. I understand what you were making the point, Stardust, where you're talking about like, oh, well, this is how we learn this shit. That doesn't make it any better. Like, the fact that we're like teaching kids at such a young age, or that social media is influencing such young kids at such a young age, is a problem. And I see that that's what Cuties is trying to point out, and that is an issue. But now that we know that that's an issue, for us to actually use that age group of people to make this video is the equivalent to be like, hey, let's make a movie about how bad murder is and murder somebody in the process. Let's make a movie about how bad it is for kids to use drugs and let kids actually use drugs in the making of the movie. Like, it's so fucking stupid to me. Like, I just can't. There's no way for me to like justify this and be like, yeah, this is okay. Yeah, this is totally fine. And for the argument that's like, oh, well, you haven't watched it, so you can't say anything about it. Well, fucking 99% of the people who made all this dumbass fucking comments about Dave Chappelle shit also didn't watch it. They watched 3 to 4 minute clips where he says like, I'm Team Turf, and whatever 2 or 3 other fucking buzzword clips that they had. But they didn't actually watch the entire statement through, because if they did, they would have realized that like only 10 minutes or 15 minutes of it total was like designated to like the
That's
trans
an abject
conversation.
lie, by the way.
And at the
I
other,
watched
I
it.
covered
not,
it
because I
on
watched
the
the whole
stream. I
fucking
watched the whole
thing.
thing.
Lie.
And I clipped it too, so
That's not true. Dave Chappelle, for almost the entire sketch, not all of it, but for almost the entire sketch, was complaining about cancel culture, the fact that he'd gotten
cancel
canceled.
culture is not the same as
the whole trans
making
thing.
statements
Yeah.
specifically
the
about the
cancel
trans
culture
community.
topic follows directly from and is directly, in his case, related to the
It was an
trans topic.
hour-long special, and he spent like 15, maybe 20 minutes specifically
The entire
on trans
end
stuff.
half of the special.
If you want to say how much you spent on
the
the
story
entire
about the
end half
closer
is-
is 15 minutes alone. The entire end half of the special is about trans people. The first half is about
If you
cancel
want to say
culture.
what he spent on
You're just a
LGBTQ
liar, dude. You're
stuff,
just a
because he
liar.
makes
You're just a
makes
liar.
other jokes about like gay people and like lesbian, like whatever.
Oh yeah, he says that the gay LGBT movement
So
is just for white people
we
to try
can
to feel as
expand it to,
oppressed
like,
as black people.
Maybe,
He said that. That was a good
maybe
one, yeah.
25 minutes. Maybe if we're talking about just LGBTQ stuff, then maybe like 25 minutes.
Yeah, I did it. Listen, I did a live coverage of this thing. So if you want to actually know that this guy's a fucking liar, that almost that entire special was focusing on trans people and gay people. So it's just not true that he spent like 5
Just
seconds.
watch
That's
it
almost
for
like
yourself. That's what I would say.
Please, I encourage you, watch it for yourself, and you will
Watch
find
it for
out.
yourself, then watch Dave Chappelle's old comedy, so you can see like when Dave Chappelle makes actual good jokes with like good commentary and everything
Agreed.
that are
Yeah.
actually informed on the topics that he's
Here's-
making
so
jokes
then
about. If you want to see
here's
some
a
good
second
Dave
question.
Chappelle
On
humor,
that panel,
go watch
you
the
don't
Clayton
find the
Bigsby
fucking thing funny.
sketch. That's a classic.
Okay, so
Did you
here's
not
a
find that whole thing at all funny in any parts of it? You thought the whole thing was just
Me?
bad? Yeah.
I didn't. I think
They
there was
can't
like
admit that. Even if they did believe
No, no,
that,
no.
they can't say that.
what a moronic thing to
not?
butt in and say. What a moronic thing. Thank you for speaking for me, you fucking clown.
Okay, here's a secondary question, I guess. If like a large crowd finds something unfunny, right, that Dave Chappelle made, is it worth it for Netflix? Not worth it. Do you think that Netflix has an obligation? Let's say a comedian makes a special, someone like Dave Chappelle did, and has a good track record of making really good specials, but this one fucking bombs. This one fucking bombs,
Well, wait,
and this
how,
one.
what is? How do you decipher
bomb,
it
though.
bombs? Like,
Okay. Okay.
if it bombs with like a specific audience, and then like that audience doesn't watch it, we'll be able to look through the statistics,
Yeah.
and they won't. Hire
Okay, but
them.
I'm asking in generality. Okay. Okay, I'm asking in generality. There's one special that a comedian, and let's say everybody. This is again a hypothetical. Everybody just kind of finds it. Most people find it unfunny. Okay. Do you think that it makes sense for Netflix to not continue making deals with that person because they had one special that was wrong, that was not as good as compared to a whole career of specials that were good?
I mean, I think that happens like there's all I don't think that's an easy question to answer. Like cuz I think it depends on the priority of the company, right? Cuz like I mean, not all companies are like 100% like viewership focused as Netflix is. Like, you know, like the Criterion Collection is like a corporation that buys up old movies that like old classics and then republishes them for people to buy in like high definition. They don't really care so much about like the ratings of the movie as much as like this is a film that needs to be made, you know, kept as a piece of history, and that's valuable to those people. So I think that's like I think that's a hard question to answer, but I do think that like this sort of thing happens like all the time, both justly and unjustly. There are so many artists who, like, for example, a great example of this is Charlie Kaufman, who did like Adaptation, and he did Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. His movies bomb in the box offices every single time. He can't get, and it's really hard. It's been really increasingly hard for Charlie Kaufman to get like another movie, even though his movies are considered to be cinematic masterpieces. They're a certain type of film that like a lot of people can't get into. It's kind of unjust. But there's other cases where it's much more just, you know, like the time when the Kramer guy dropped the N-word at screaming at a patron. Most people looked at that, or JonTron, for example, who's a very funny guy, but went on a racist rant on the internet for a lot of people to see, and people go, wow, actually, that kind of bothers me. Like, I don't know. I think it's hard to determine. I don't think that there's like a single answer again for every company. If I was running a company, it would be important to me that like the stuff that I put my name on would be something that I'm proud of. But I don't really own a corporation. I don't run a corporation. I have a channel, like me and my team of people, and we make those sorts of decisions. So I don't know.
All right. Well, if I ran a company, that my company would be run by shareholders' money and being happy with that money for the shareholders. So I don't know how many people left Netflix in comparison, or how many people thought that special was so bad that they don't want to continue doing it. I know there was a lot of people on Twitter who were mad, but I'm not sure if that was a vocal minority. I don't know if 100,000 people said something on Twitter and 1.5 million people loved it at home. So all I do know is Dave Chappelle is set to do a festival next year for Netflix, and he's already been rehired as of 2 weeks ago. So that's where I stand on the issue.
Yeah, I mean, I think the issue here fundamentally comes down to the profit motive, and obviously Netflix is motivated to make the old money. And the unfortunate reality is, you know, this is fucking some nerd shit, but it's the idea of the spectacle. And if you want to criticize the spectacle, you have to engage in the spectacle. So, you know, I haven't watched the special. From what I understand, there was some fucking pretty, you know, questionable shit in there, but I can't really comment further than that. But when you criticize the Dave Chappelle special, you promote the special. And that's what makes it so difficult now in the environment that we live in. You know, not to say that it's anyone's fault that he's been rehired, but it's almost like you can't get to a situation where you can critique something without partially advertising it too. So all of this controversy just fuels it and fuels it and fuels it, and Netflix are the ones that win in the end. So it's like, how do you deal with that? I don't know what the answer is.
Well,
I don't know. That is a hard question. Like, I mean, because there's this other thing too, which just goes back to what I was talking about, which is that we recognize that some people's speech is freer than others. If you have money, the likelihood that you're going to, like, especially if you have a lot of money, if you have a lot of money, you can just hire people to broadcast you. You can just pay to bankroll the ability to get your word out to more people. And obviously we recognize that gets even worse when you're talking about companies that literally own the broadcasting stations, and they get to choose everything that goes on there. And if it's something that's critical of them, they won't air it, and maybe nobody else will. So it might literally just kill that. I don't know. I think that is complicated. I don't know if there's a single clean answer in this situation. All that I think is that, like, I think there's a lot of hypocrisy on like people being like, I don't know. I notice a lot of people get really fucking triggered when somebody does an intentionally offensive, the things you can't say, cancel me tour, and then some people say, dude, you're just a dumb shit, and then they go, oh, I'm being canceled. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah,
There's a
that's
little
super
bit of it on
annoying.
both sides.
Oh,
It's
there,
on
there
both
absolutely
sides. Yeah.
is it on both sides. That's why
Yeah.
Hassan Piker was currently banned from Twitch.
Ooh.
So
Wait, what?
can
I'm
I
gonna
can I just
disagree
say
with you.
I think it's funny how like a lot of people on the left or Democrats will want to say that like, oh yeah, the electoral college is bust, like people
Cool.
should be
Yeah, I got
able to
some
vote
sound.
democratically, but like when these kinds of situations arise where people are voting democratically through their dollar, they're saying that like, yeah, Dave Chappelle's special was pretty fucking funny and that's why Netflix is going to have him on again. That's terrible. We should do away with that, right? And then to the same note that like Chud Logic was talking about, like, oh well, it's only because people are making so much controversy about this, and therefore it's getting more promotion, and that's the only reason people are watching it more. But the same, we don't. Okay, compare the numbers of Cuties and Dave Chappelle special. They were equally as controversial, and what has more backing behind it? You think whatever no-name fucking producers on that made Cuties are gonna have more fucking viewers? No, because
But
people they lost subscriptions as a result of Cuties being published on Netflix.
I would wager that the controversy from QTs benefited Netflix more than it hurt them in the long run.
I wouldn't agree. I think there was even information
How
that came
can
out
we
at the
measure
time.
that?
I can't
Wait,
I
need
can't
to
pull
tell-
it up
I need to
right now, but I did actually have there was information at the time that there were subscribers like Netflix's subscriber
But this is my point.
dropped after
Your point
Cuties.
works both ways. The point applies to the Dave Chappelle special, but it absolutely applies to the Cutie special too. The best thing you can do if there's a product that you think is bad, unfortunately, the reality is to kind of just ignore it, and that's tricky because
Yeah.
I see both sides of it, right? I see that like Cuties, I see the argument that there's an issue there, and maybe it caused. I see the Dave Chappelle side and how maybe some of the jokes there could have been an issue. So it's kind of like. The best thing to do is ignore it. But then if something is bad in your opinion, you've got a right to talk about it. But you unfortunately just fuel this
Sure, but
attention
let's be
economy
real.
shit,
Like how long ago did
Sure,
Cuties come out? Like,
everybody has a right
let's
to
be
talk
real.
about it.
Nobody, and I never have met anybody outside of like literally a panel that was ever talked about Cuties. The conservatives have like a brainworm.
Well, it's because you
about
don't
Cuties.
touch grass.
It's like,
you stay on.
oh,
You're
totally,
terminally
yeah.
Sorry,
online.
my friends in
you
my
only have
friends
this
outside
community
of here
that.
don't watch Cuties.
Oh my
That's
God.
not their
I have
demographic.
people. I have people in real life who were offended by fucking
Did you know
like
that I
Dave
was
Chappelle,
talking?
and
Did you know that I was
I live in
talking?
a really.
Did you know that
I live in a really red
Did
state.
you know that
I
I
have
was
people.
talking? Did you know that I was talking before? And then you butted in
I don't-
again to say
honestly,
something
man.
stupid again.
Go ahead.
Honestly, what? Go ahead.
Go
What
ahead.
do you want to say? A woman talking.
Go ahead. Give us another fucking 20 minutes.
I don't know
Man,
that
you Stardust, you invite some major snowflakes onto these panels. This is fucking funny.
look, I invite people who I think will clash. And sometimes it can be very uncomfortable, and I do that on purpose, but I'm definitely feeling it right now. So
Yeah, I'm definitely
Look, I'm
feeling
comfortable.
discomfort.
I have nothing
I'm
but
good,
love
too.
for everybody on this panel. Okay, but I mean,
I was
if you want to make
interested-
jokes about like interrupting and you're gonna
Right,
gish
but
out for
still-
fucking
still
20
didn't get
minutes
to
every
finish
time you
my sentence,
talk, like,
I think
Go
there was
ahead.
an
Okay.
interesting backwards and forward that could have occurred
wait,
there.
let
Sorry,
her
I was thinking
speak,
of
man. She
Stardust.
wants to say something. Go ahead.
What were we talking about? Oh, cuties. Yeah. So conservative people are like literally so fixated on this cuties thing because they don't watch the movie. They just, Tucker Carlson said it, Steve Crowder said it, so you got to say it too. And they're still doing it even though it's been like out for like 2 years. These are the same people who literally voted for Donald Trump, the guy who ran the teen Miss USA pageant and would literally walk behind and look at naked teen girls, and he's just like, yeah, I love it when those young ones, and like they're like, oh yeah, so it's a very serious issue. The kids twerking in this, it's destroying the universe in the West. Anyway, let me go vote for the actual pedophile. Yeah, so I don't know. All of this seems like I feel like we've gotten to a point in the conversation where it's just like there's like 10 different things being talked about, and like I don't really know what any of them really means because like it just seems like one guy's really like fixated on this cuties film. I'm like, I don't know, dude. Maybe you should just go watch the movie and
Yeah,
feel
but
a
your
little
straw man
better.
falls apart whenever
Thank
you try
you.
to compare whenever you try to compare pageants to cuties, right?
And if your best defense is Donald
yeah,
Trump
totally.
bad, like I don't know what the fuck else. I don't really have anything to say. Like,
what if
I
I bring up a
Have at
different
it.
The truth.
You guys love child
wait,
rapists.
don't
It
you
was a
think-
good
they're on your
defense. I
side.
mean, look, you're
I'm pretty sure the FBI
Actually,
spoke out and said that like the
actually,
Pizzagate
somebody
conspiracy and a lot of like
who's been
right-wing
involved in
conspiracy
pageants
theories
for a
about
number
child
of
sex
years,
trafficking
right?
on the
And
left
their
have
involvement
made it
with
harder
the-
to track down actual
their
existing
involvement
child
with
sex
the,
trafficking
with
rings.
the pageant scene, right, hasn't been what it is that you're attempting to characterize it as, and that's why the straw man that you build is getting burned the fuck up. right
Well,
now.
wait,
this
wait,
is
wait,
this
okay.
is why it's okay for
Wait,
me to
no,
rape
okay.
a bear, where I didn't
Well,
know that it
wait,
was bad to rape children until Epstein was
okay.
arrested,
All over
and
the
I voted
place.
for a
Slow down,
pedophile,
slow
but
down,
I'm the
slow down.
good one.
I've
She
got something
can't
to-
stay
listen,
on
stop,
one
stop,
thing.
stop. I've got something to say that I think is important. Okay, I just want to try and bring some clarity here, bring the temperature down on everything. Okay, we're getting a bit heated. What I want to ask you, Mr. Nacho, if I can call you that, okay, is
Yes,
this.
sir.
Okay, so I don't think it's quite that Donald Trump's bad. I think we went down the Donald Trump route. Okay, DemonMama chose that path. Fair enough. I respect you, DemonMama. I would have gone down a slightly different path. Okay, and what I
Don't
would
be
say to you
nice,
is this.
Chud. Come on.
No, okay, listen, I'm being nice to both of you, okay? Right? I'm being nice to both of you. So what I wanted to say to you, Nacho, is this, okay? Do you not see how the film Cuties, which I admit to me is some pretty fucking whack shit, don't you think that like some of the American beauty pageants that exist are a bit fucking weird champ too?
But
And
that's what
maybe there are
Yes.
people
I
that are being
agree.
inconsistent.
Like
All
I
of
don't
them-
know what. This has
both
been
can
brought
be
up so many
bad.
times. Wait, please, I need a second just to say this because I'm
You
the
need,
one
like,
like on
an
the other
hour,
end.
dog.
Just
Shoot,
what?
shoot.
Give me 1 second, okay?
What?
Because
Mind blown.
I'm getting because I'm on the other end of this, okay, Nick. So I just want to say, like, I don't agree with any of the patterns either. I don't know what you're expecting bringing this up, and it's not really you. It's been mostly. I feel like Demon Mama mostly was the one who brought this up. I don't want the pageants to be a thing either.
Okay.
That shouldn't be
Sure.
normalized either.
So
And
that's
like
good.
when StarDust brought up that like, well, girls are learning how to fucking twerk in school. That's not a good thing either. And I'm not saying this should be like a mandated thing either because at the end of the day I still believe in like your rights. But like this is a social thing that we have to fix. Like I agree. And like I said, the message of Cuties is good, right? Young women being taught to fucking twerk at 8 years old is bad. I'm
Sure,
not
okay.
for that.
So I'm
Holy
not
shit.
accusing you of being
I
hypocritical.
know. I just
okay?
wanted to make
But-
sure.
But what I'm suggesting is that like there was this moral panic over this Cuties film, and there doesn't seem to be quite the same sort of panic about the pageant thing. I would actually argue in some ways the pageant stuff is worse because there's a physicality there and there's potential for abuse to happen that we're not even aware of, right?
Not just potential; it does happen often.
I would agree, but I mean, I feel like that stuff is dying out. It's being suffocated. Like I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, I hope it is anyways. It should be if it's not already.
If everyone agrees that the pageants are shitty, then what the fuck is the point? Like,
Well,
we
no,
all
the-
agree
the-
that that's
okay.
bad. I mean, just
So-
talking about cuties doesn't make pageants get
No,
more
no, no, no.
fucking clicks, you know?
Let me explain. This is why I think where the issue lies, right? It's that like there's this thing over here, cuties, big moral panic, da 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 da. But some of the people that maybe are getting really concerned about it, don't seem to have like expressed or said like the same things about other problematic aspects of American society because it's more normalized. It's like there's this new big thing. Oh, we've got to pay attention to this, da da da. But actually, there's other things going on to pay attention to.
Is there a single
And
person
there
who
is-
would
You can-
say that cuties is bad, but pageants are good?
List them off, and I'll disavow them.
that's
Okay, I'll pull a
I'm
Trump
not looking-
fucking
I'm not
Biden
looking-
debate here,
I
okay?
see what
I'm not-
Chud's
it's-
point
it's-
is. I
we're
see what
debating
Chud
a
Logic's
person
about
we don't
point
know
is.
if
hypocrisy. It's
even
not about
exists.
hypocrisy now. It's not about hypocrisy. That's not the point I'm making. Okay. The point is that there's other stuff that's going on, and people don't seem to be bothered to call it out. It's only they're calling out.
Then use
cuties
your
because
Twitter and
it's a
tweet
big
it
moral
out. They're
panic.
calling out cuties because it's
I
going
don't fucking
viral on
fucking
Twitter.
know.
No,
Here,
no, no, no.
let me
Listen,
see if I can
this is
phrase it in a way. Maybe I can phrase it in a way that's more understandable. So
Put it into
I
drama
think
YouTuber
what-
language.
Okay. Chud Logic is saying that it's strange that there is this all of a sudden huge moral panic and all of this attention being brought to a single television or movie or television series. And wait a second. I know. Okay, I know. I know it's heated. But we don't see that same type of moral panic and outrage and mobilization of people, of like humans, like saying stuff about it when it comes to pageants, right?
And that's totally
There's
fine, but Xander Hall explained
Yeah.
it like 5 minutes ago that the reason why this
Yeah.
got so much moral panic is because Netflix made like a weird fucking poster for it and attached a movie trailer to it. So people went, "What the fuck is
okay.
this?" And it went
No,
viral.
come on.
Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
chill about this.
That's
and-
not
okay.
my point that I was making earlier. That it's about viral marketing. That's the point I'm making, and
Right.
we're all playing into it all the time.
Okay,
That's
No.
Okay. Well, hold on. There's another angle.
Okay,
of this
well,
that
can
hasn't
I
even
just
been
say-
discussed. There's another angle of this. Wow, dude. There's another angle of this which hasn't even been discussed, which is that we all know what the headlines looked like around the time of Cuties, which is that realistically, I bet Netflix didn't even plan for this to be a giant controversy. I'm sure they were more than happy to capitalize on that, but I just, even with the poster, which I do agree was like really, really out of pace with the rest of the movie, I don't feel like Netflix, I don't think there's evidence at all of Netflix like being like, this is our next big viral marketing hit. Like, I think you could make a better argument for like a Ghostbusters than that, where there's like more outrage baiting or whatever. I don't really think that happened with Cuties, but what did happen with Cuties is that the day that movie announced, 100 right-wing newspapers all had the exact same article saying leftists are degenerating the West with child porn on leftist company BLM supporting Netflix. And if you don't believe me, all of those articles are still up, so go look them up. And so you have this problem of, it's like, wow, geez, the right wing sure seems to care a whole lot about the secret leftist conspiracy theory of the Cuties film, while literally ignoring literally the fact that child pageants are most common in fucking red states and all of this other shit. It's just, there's no actual care for the issue. It's that, oh, well, we can use this as a bludgeon against our political opponent.
But
versus,
Demon
like,
Mama,
maybe
aren't
actually-
you debating why Cuties is an okay film?
No. When did I ever
do you
argue
think-
that?
Wait, so is Cuties not like it's not a good
I
film?
haven't seen Cuties. I don't care. I didn't
Oh
even.
my
Why are
God,
you
wait,
debating
hold
it?
Wait, that's shit.
Wait.
Hold on. I'm
Why
sorry.
would
Are you
use that as a
are
fucking
you-
like dumb? Like you thought that
I'm
was
sorry,
a dumb
sorry.
to be?
I'm sorry. Are you people stupid? Are you actually mentally challenged?
Hold on, can you just say that again? Have you watched Cuties?
Yes. Are you people stupid? Let me say that
Please
again.
answer
Do you
that one more
understand
time because you just said it. Can you just say it again?
Are you people stupid?
just
there you
just
go.
answer the question.
I didn't bring up Cuties. You did.
have you
because you're
have
the
you
one who's
watched the
obsessed
movie
with-
Cuties?
nachos.
No!
10 minutes
I
ago
never
for
said
getting
that
on
I did. I
TV.
never made any fucking claims
I'm
about
done with
no,
this. I'm done with this. Okay.
Please
You
go.
win.
Please. Oh my God, please go. Please.
You're so
Wait,
you're
wait,
so morally
wait,
right on this.
wait,
you
wait.
win.
Wait,
You win,
wait.
Demon.
Okay, this got way more heated than I was expecting it to, but it's good content. But
I'm actually confused.
Farm it up,
I never
Stardust. I don't
brought
blame you.
I never brought up Cuties. I said, guys, like, I don't know. Let's talk about some of these things that like concepts that were connected to it. I never brought up or even defended Cuties. I pointed out that I think the reaction was fucking stupid and that it's not in check with any other
You've
movie. that
literally
has the
been
same level.
defending Cuties up until literally just now.
Right.
I can't wait for the Booksmarts review of this one.
Yeah,
Holy
please, God,
shit.
Booksmarts, where are you at? Give me, let me know.
Oh
Don't.
my God.
Holy shit.
Wow, hey, there we go. There's the truth right there, everybody. I'll be making money for the next week.
Shit on
while-
all of us,
So
okay?
I got a question.
Oh my
Stardust.
God.
Stardust, I got a question.
yeah.
Yeah, Chad, isn't this embarrassing?
What?
Remember the old days?
Hey,
Remember the old days?
hey, CTV speaking right now.
I don't care. I don't care anymore. This is like the 9th time I've been. I don't even give a shit anymore. I'm going to anarchy here.
Wow, the
Like, I don't give a shit.
conversation
Sorry.
dies down. I wait. You want to act that way. You
Yeah,
already
shut the
were
fuck
just
up, Warren.
I'm trying to be
embarrassing
peace.
for fucking
Cranky
everybody.
grandpa.
okay?
Wee, wee.
And the peace, give me the peace.
I think there's a
definitely embarrassed, by.
Okay.
Do you have some
by your
pedophiles to be
behavior
defending,
and,
or
you know,
like-
like,
Wait,
oh,
wait,
yeah,
wait.
yeah,
CTV, just
Mama
ask me the
bad,
question.
mama
Ask me the question that you had.
Okay, so you were the one that brought up Cuties, right? Because it was a part of the question.
I was the one who
right?
was kind of. I think I was the one who was defending it at a certain point.
Yeah, but it got
Um,
brought up as a part of the original question, right?
I don't. I don't remember, to be honest.
I think.
Hmm.
I don't know who
it
the
may
fuck
have
brought
been.
it up.
It may have been.
Yeah,
I may have brought it up in
remember-
like
I don't even remember
tangentially.
who brought it
definitely
up.
fucking
Yeah.
Amazing,
I definitely
incredible.
jumped on the fucking
Yeah.
train. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get to the root here because Demon Mama's laying out some claims, right? Which I think are false.
What claim? Wait. Please tell me what claim I laid out.
So I'm just
What
trying
claim?
to get to
Wait,
the...
what claim? I want to know what claim I laid
I'm
out.
sorry.
Tell me.
Did you want to be heard now? Did you want to be heard? But
Oh, you
just
said I
got
was
me
laying out a
again.
claim. I want to know what
Beautiful.
claim it was.
No,
I don't
actually,
think you remember
if we're
what
gonna
happened
be
5 seconds ago.
if we're gonna
I think
if
you're
we're gonna be
legitimately so
real,
stoned you don't remember what
Stop
happened. For a second.
interrupting
What
her,
word did you just
CTV.
say?
What the fuck?
Yeah, I know. I'm horrible. So horrible. I can't believe that I just keep interrupting her.
I can't either.
Not fucking
just
posturing,
Okay, well,
please. I'm begging
okay.
you. Just say what you got to say. I'm begging you, CTV, please.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like if Stardust is the one that brought it up, and it was a part of the original arguments, right? Whenever Demon Mama went off on her whole tirade earlier on Nacho, right, about not watching it and blah blah blah, your positive opinion, and you're just going off about this shit, right? It's like, you know,
That was a slam dunk.
after
You
like
watched it.
yeah,
If we're gonna be fair,
after we
if we're
get
gonna
to,
be
like
fair,
30 minutes
wait a minute,
later
guys.
after that,
Guys, if we're gonna be fair.
I wasn't done. Can I finish?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize. So sorry.
Yeah. So we went like 30, 45 minutes of this shit, of which Demon Mama is talking like 25 to 30 minutes of it, let's be honest. Right? To all of us sit here in this room and witness right, the complete fucking like tuck tail run. I ain't seen shit. Da, da, da. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. I just felt like that should be pointed out. That's all.
Good one. Did you even
I-
finish?
Demon
I
Mama,
just want
wait,
to
Demon
be-
Mama, can you give us another 20 minutes, please?
Mama
Wait, wait,
Mama
okay.
I've got a comment. That
Okay,
it's
okay,
going to
go
solve
ahead.
this. It's going to solve it. It's going to solve
Go
it. I
ahead,
promise you.
Chill
Okay.
Logic.
So
Go
the
ahead.
fundamental. This is from Vanya in my chat, right? Smart person here. Fundamental issue. The people outraged at cuties, not necessarily on this panel, but very broadly, usually aren't motivated to change the social structures that lead to the exploitation of young women. I think that's the baseline point, and that I think is the key fundamental point.
Yeah. So what somebody in chat said that my comparison of it to like coming of age was dumb, but I don't think so, because coming of age, again, growing up at like, and as I don't know, in certain populations, coming of age is like that. It is like you learn these things pretty young. That is what it is. You get objectified before you know what objectification is. So I don't think it's a bad comparison. The reason why I was defending it was just because I don't see, for me, I find it really strange how much panic there is over this, when they're like, this is one of the very few films that's been made on it, and like made on the idea of girls, you know, being sexual, when that is the reality for girls growing up.
Would you argue that it would be better if the actors or actresses in this case, or
Sure.
what's the
Yeah,
right
if they
word?
were 18
years old?
Yeah, of course it would be better.
Don't
So
you think
I
it's
would
a little
agree-
counterproductive?
I just wanted to point out before I forget, like I think Stardust's point was actually pretty valid. That's one of the best fucking examples, or one of the best offenses of this that I think I've seen. But I guess that's my only qualm with it. Make it fucking 18 and up actors. Don't use actual underage girls and teach them how to exploit their, like, how to be sex objects as a way to like improve your message. Like that's my biggest qualm with this whole thing was just like, if you're gonna, yes, murder is bad. Yes, doing drugs is probably bad at a young age. Like doing, like, you can name all these other things. You can make a message about that and not commit the actual crime while you're making the movie. That's my
Yeah.
only issue
Okay.
with Cuties.
You just
So-
I think
so-
the
worded
message.
what I just said for like 45 minutes to interrupt me.
Come on,
One
bro.
thing
Look,
that hasn't,
come
hold on.
on,
One
bro.
thing that hasn't been brought up this entire time, though, right? Because we had the correlation over here to beauty pageants, right? Beauty pageants, gymnastics, ice
I think me and
skating.
CTV are using the
Like
same
there are a
tank.
lot of things that, you know, people of a lot of different ages participate in, and I think people should be able to do that. Whenever you have bad actors that are involved in these things, that's when society holds them responsible. Get them the fuck out. But like, I grew up with me and my sisters. And my mom, like the '96 Olympics when it came to Atlanta, like I still know who, you know, remember watching Dominique Mucciano and Dominique Dawes and Carrie Strug, you know, and fucking that whole Tanya Hardin thing that happened. Like I
Tanya
remember
Harding,
watching
let's
all this
go.
stuff growing up, right?
Right.
So, you know, like there's when bad actors, they go and do those things that we know are fucking wrong. I've got a hold. Element 82 helps with this situation. I'm just saying, but that, having these things for people to be able to participate with, that's just like being a part of society. And if someone wants to host
Can someone
events
edit the
and there's
boomer meme
nothing out of
only
the
it's
way to
CTV's glasses,
sexualizing
hat,
in these
goatee,
things
and,
happen, I think that's
headphones?
okay. As soon as it starts becoming sexualized and it's below
love that.
18, that's the hard fucking line for me. And it's like, no, it's below 18. And that's where, like, you can even go to other movies, like, say, American Pie, which, talks about the journey, coming up through adolescence and stuff, both for males and females, right? Because you've got, the girlfriend of, what's his name? He's in there, going down to Chowtown on her, right? She experiences her first fucking orgasm, and then you got old boy, picking up baked goods, right? So you've got something for everybody there, and it's, on the latter half of the high school year, they're getting ready to graduate and prom. You can pretty much infer everybody's 18 and over, even though we all know that there's sometimes people have a late birthday or something weird like that. So it's adult. It's adult, and it's
Adults
adult.
playing the kids.
But the only thing I'm saying though is that there have been movies that have depicted. I mean, there are plenty of movies with boys. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying I don't think it's right, but I think that it's been happening, and it's so strange that there's all this outrage around this. That's all,
Because things go viral.
So
Obviously, big thing has more eyes on it than small thing.
Yeah.
You know
I
what
just
I mean?
got a question
just
for
think-
I think there's
CTV.
another aspect.
I just think it's because those were.
Go ahead, Chad.
I would just say I think it's because those are made
Okay.
today when we know all these things.
important. This is super important, okay? I want to hear a bit more from CTV about what Chowtown looks like. Go on.
Well, see,
Oh my
what
God,
happened
okay.
was they found this book, right? And they were going into the tornado tongue twister, right? And I'm just telling you, he had the book right there referencing it for the specific moves and diagrams. I feel like it's, once you get to a level of mastery, you end up coming with your own patterns anyway.
What are we talking about?
But in the movie, right, it shows like the coming of age and the learning and all that stuff, and I felt like it being, adult people, right, in adult situations, right, getting ready to graduate high school, those things are acceptable. But as soon as you start having, actresses, actors, right, that are, young and they're participating in anything sexualized or sexualizing, that's where there's a hard line, and there's no way that I would be okay with any of that content being created, fucking owned, anything, right? Like
That's fair
no.
enough. I just want to check as well. Have you mastered the tongue twister yourself?
Oh, it's like a couple of decades.
question?
now history. Yeah. As a matter of fact,
Fair
that's like a great opener. If you're with a chick and she doesn't know whether or not she's ready to make that next step, just be like, hey, listen, man, I'm going to be drinking a little bit of moonshine. My tongue's going to get a little bit twisty, and I enjoy a certain kind of flavor. If you're open, if you're opening up the why, so
So
Excellent.
What
there anyone
flavor
else-
is it?
Can you
Here's
describe the
something I
flavor?
wanted to say. Here's something I wanted to mention on this topic, which is that, okay, so like part of the problem, this is something that has been sort of danced around here, but like part of the problem, or this has been brought up a couple times, like this idea that like, oh, well, like these things are already happening, but like to my understanding, like there are
Moonshine.
Cuties is not the
Okay,
only
going
film
on.
like this, but other like activism films that do have like shocking content or perhaps like depictions of horrible content, including, by the way, like I noticed that like we would not if there was a movie where kids like shot each other, which there's like multiple, like there's tons of movies, like Hunger Games is a movie where characters and actors that are like under the age of 18 kill each other on camera, and it's obviously fake. They're not dead. That's not the same thing as it's not the same thing as reality. We can recognize that, right? So like these things happen, like the whole point of a movie that deals with like a tough topic like this is to get people to think about it, to go, oh God, this like depiction is a little bit troubling to me. In as far as I understand, in the case with Cuties, like they had a depiction of a dance. This is not a sex act, it's a sexualized thing, right? And they're showing this to say, guys, this is what happens behind the stages in these pageants, in these dance competitions. You people need to see this. We recreated it in a safe environment so that with no one being hurt, so that you
With
can see what's going
real
on.
8 to 12
Stop!
year olds.
I wasn't done.
No, there's no stop. Like, what do you mean? Like, That's my only issue with this.
How can you comment on it if you haven't like seen the full movie? How do you know like if you know the whole context?
Because I read the
Not
whole
you,
fucking
not, I
script.
was talking to her.
I'm sorry.
Well,
my
I
bad.
haven't made any claims about the movie itself. I'm talking
You
about.
just made a claim about a whole
That
dance
was
scene
totally
and gave us
a
all the
claim.
context. What the fuck are you talking about?
Did you
Holy
listen?
crap.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I listened to the whole thing. You were
Yeah.
explaining the
You literally didn't.
sequence.
Excuse
Yeah,
me. I actually
totally a claim.
literally. I hate you
I
people
don't-
so much.
okay.
I
That was
So-
more detailed than half the movie review channels
I
I watch
actually
on
hate.
YouTube.
I actually hate all of you people. You're like the most impossible to talk to people on the
That's
planet.
okay. I
Oh,
love
we
when you
love
upset the
you.
both of
Wait,
us.
so here's the
I'm
wait.
sure
So
we love you. Okay.
So what I'm
True,
what I'm
Nick.
getting from
True.
this, what I'm getting from this is a disconnection in like the arguments that we're making. So from my
I didn't
understanding,
even get to finish what I was saying, but
correct me if I'm wrong. I think Demon Mama's making the
You're
argument that
arguing
it's
against no one
irresponsible
on
of
this
American
panel. Then if that's
Nacho.
what you're arguing.
I think
Sorry.
the argument is that American Nacho is acting irresponsibly to take a super hard anti this movie stance if he hasn't seen it yet. From everything I've seen, Demon Mama seems to have been criticizing that, and the only takes on the movie I've seen from Demon Mama so far have been what the creator of the movie has said in interviews and what's
And then that
the
whole
intent
descriptor
of the
of the
movie to
Look,
begin
I know
with.
you want
I
to suck
literally-
some fucking
excuse me,
Demon
I
Mama
never-
nipples, but like, bro, she's
Dude,
doing the
dude,
exact
stop.
same thing.
Okay,
Can we
stop.
stop with
That's
the-
She
fucking
is doing
nasty.
the exact same thing. She
stop with these
said,
calls?
admittedly, that she
Weird.
hasn't
Not with-
seen the movie.
Stop.
So what's the
I never-
difference here?
Are you, you literally? This is one of the weirdest
I'm
things
not
ever.
even talking to you anymore. I'm
you're-
just
you're-
asking
you're-
Xanderhall if he understands what he just said.
You talked about nipples. Come on, let's be real here.
I've
Okay,
like
let's-
really, I've
What?
really had
Nipples are
actually.
great.
What's wrong with
unironically,
that?
Can we wrap
Wait,
this?
wait,
Can we wrap
wait. Nipples is wrong for
Yeah,
the. Wait, what?
I just wanna wait just a second, guys. I
My
want
cat
to
is
wrap
like
this up.
dying and wants to leave. Like this is
Yeah,
bad.
I understand. Okay, so I want to move on. We're gonna go to the last segment. I just want to address chat very quickly. I don't think anybody on this panel is saying it's okay, but I think a lot of people are just pointing out that it's strange the inconsistency and the amount of outrage that different things receive. Obviously, that's due to marketing. Anyways. The next segment is the one where we do Microsoft Paint. So if you have Microsoft Paint, if you can get it out, and then
On it.
Yep. No
And then,
problemo. No problemo.
yeah, the
Microsoft
last.
Paint. Sorry, what do we have?
Microsoft 3D is the same thing.
How's everyone doing?
Oh, okay. Hold on.
You just search paint when you press the start button, it'll come up.
Doing, folks. Everyone feeling good?
Yeah, I think people are. I think people are taking me the wrong way in chat, in my own chat.
Look, if they want to blame it on me, that's fine. Okay. And
No, they're
if
not
Demon
taking you
Mama's
wrong.
chat wants to yell
Wait
at
a
me,
minute. Wait a minute.
I'll have a
They're-
conversation with them.
Nobody's
I'm
yelling
not-
at you. They're yelling at me.
Okay.
It's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll take responsibility either way.
It doesn't matter. Okay, so chat, give words, okay, abstract words that the panelists can draw. In the
Your chat
meantime,
needs to stop saying cuties. Nobody's drawing that.
nobody's drawing cuties.
Thank you.
I already
getting
did
scared.
actually.
Okay.
And by the way, I will be dropping poll number 4 in the chat, so please.
Okay, I'm ready. What's
Please
going
go.
on?
Okay, I'm getting words from chat. And then we will do. Okay, very funny, guys. It's vote for your favorite Sean Clementine.
Who? Who
Choose
is that?
abstract concepts, please, when you're doing words. Chat. Small oranges.
I remember when cuties were just peelable oranges. I miss those days.
Are we drawing yet? I'm confused.
We're
I
not
have
drawing
no
anything
idea. I
yet.
don't know
We're
what's
not drawing
happening.
anything yet. We're not drawing anything
Okay.
yet.
What are we doing?
So you were that kid in school, huh, Chad?
Well, I don't know. I just, I'm sensing a bit of. There's some vibes in the air. Maybe it's just me, but I don't know. It's gone.
I don't know,
It's
man.
you.
I'm actually good. Like,
That's what I'm saying. I think
I
it's
don't know.
going great.
Okay, good. Well, as long as we're all happy, that's the main thing.
yeah. No worries, man. No worries.
I hope everybody is happy. Okay. I
It
got
is the
nothing but.
holidays, and I went to
I
Disney
got
today.
Okay.
look. I
I'm
got nothing
choosing
but
a word
love
now.
for everybody in here. Okay.
Same. I appreciate you guys participating. I knew people would clash. I was not anticipating it to clash that much. But I apologize for all uncomfortable interactions. And please don't hate me.
Look,
Okay.
no matter what's happened here tonight,
You can
we can all
blame it on
agree
me.
it's all
Okay.
good content, and that's the main
I'm
thing we're
fine.
here for.
I'm fine with that. You can blame it on me. Okay.
No, don't. No, it's fine. I am the shit stirrer. Okay.
I don't know.
So,
The view numbers would say otherwise, but
uh, the word is going to be internet. The internet. So please draw the internet, and you'll have 5 minutes. And
Everyone?
yes, everybody draws the internet. Don't tell us what it is. Don't show it to us. It's going to be a blind vote. So
Oh shit. Okay.
I know exactly what I'm drawing. I know exactly. I know exactly what I'm drawing.
Oh, I got this.
Chat. Wait, DemonMama, you're showing your drawing screen. You gotta hide it. 1 second.
Oh, we know how she got started.
Hold
You know,
on,
cubes
I
don't
gotta look up the Pornhub
go that way, right?
logo. Perfect. Perfect. There we go. There's the Pornhub logo. Exactly what we're looking for. Perfect. Okay. Just gonna go ahead and get that text out. Let's give ourselves a nice black background too, because we deserve
in the
it.
meantime,
We've been good.
we can talk, chat.
We've been good.
How long have we got?
You guys have got 5 minutes, probably, while I talk to chat.
Is this TOS?
Chat.
I hope it's not. It shouldn't be.
What is your favorite coming-of-age film? Have you ever watched something and then, like, looked back at it? We're just vibing. Have you ever watched something and then looked back at it and thought, wow, it's a little bit weird. Super bad, huh? Goonies, okay. Kids. What is Kids? I've never seen that. Brokeback Mountain is not a coming-of-age film.
It's a coming film.
It is a coming... Yeah,
It's
people
low-key
do
kind of fruity.
I just think it's funny because... So the reason why I clearly had the most unpopular opinion on this panel, but chat is so fucking mad. Look, chat, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because nobody was saying shit when we were posting photos of ourselves on Facebook and Instagram as 16, okay? There's still 16-year-olds putting up their bikini photos on Instagram.
And if you're
That's
a
all I'm saying.
25-year-old who saves that on their phone, you're probably a pedo. You know what I mean? It's a difference between like what you do when you're you're definitely, but like I'm just saying, like when we're 16 we have a certain standard. When we're adults we have a different standard. So when we look back on the things that we did as children, we should cringe, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. If you don't cringe at the shit you did when you were a child, then you're probably still cringe.
I feel like we're missing the point with the point that Stardust is making is that all across our society it is like extremely pressured onto young girls to be objectified sexually, and when somebody makes a movie about it that has like some controversy, it's like it creates like a world, like a giant moral panic, even though like this is commented on very frequently in films and even depicted sometimes way more problematically, at least as far as I can tell. I think that's the point. I think the point that Stardust is saying is that like this is rampant, and this movie isn't even the beginning of the problem. It isn't even representative of the main problem. The problem being that the society is horrible to young women, and also doesn't allow for stories like real stories of
Very
young women
nice.
dealing with real problems to make it to the
Very
surface.
nice.
Am I getting that right, Stardust?
There we go.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's
Perfect.
strange. That's all. It's just very strange.
What do you think of that,
people
guys?
are
I think I did a pretty good job recreating
so
the
upset
Pornhub
about
logo.
one film when we have real examples, we have real life examples.
I mean, I
All
said
the
this to you
time.
in DMs, but like Big Mouth is another show that's mostly guy related, where everyone just looks at that show
Burn
and
my
shits all
throat.
over it. It's another Netflix product as well. That show is really weird. It's about a bunch of kids having puberty monsters and fucking each other. I think that's a pretty weird show.
That movie, not movie show. That show makes me very uncomfortable. Yeah.
That show's art style to me is everything that's wrong with modern adult animation. That, like, the fact that every adult animation show now has to look like a disgusting mix between Family Guy and Rick and Morty now makes me want to die.
By the way, when you guys are finished with your drawing, just screenshot it and send it to me. In DM.
Do we DM it or put it in the group chat?
DM it.
Where is Stardust in my Discord?
DM it.
Whoop. Don't look at all my pirated movies. Alright, where is the thing? There it is.
Wait, I was muted. How long do we have left? Hello?
I think it's
Mic check.
probably been. Let me see. How long is this? It's so you probably have like 30 seconds more.
Oh shit! All right.
I'll give you a minute.
The internet is for porn. The internet is for
I'm working hard.
Oh, well, I'm not saying that it's not offensive. I'm just saying that everything's offensive. So, I don't know.
I've been all night hugging my horn to
Yeah,
porn,
one of my
Such a
chatters
great
says,
song. Go look it up.
Big Mouth itself is like 1,000 times more problematic in the way that it frames things than like Cutie. If you put aside all the any of the acting things, there's a ton of movies, an entire subgenre of hot for teacher movies about young boys fucking or getting fucked by a teacher that nobody ever talks about, even though that is obviously unethically and
Oh, yeah.
bad.
Yeah, and all
Like,
of
with
them
the fact-
are
it's
saying
just-
all night.
is
they
that
Or
a-
the fact
okay.
that every
bad.
time a
Like,
young boy
every-
gets raped by a teacher,
That's where
it's
I
always
think.
like.
That's where I
"Dude,
feel like
sleep
we're
with
making
teacher."
like a huge disconnect. Like, why? Okay, you saying those things are bad doesn't make what I said any less bad. I would agree with you that those things are also bad. Like, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know where we're making a disconnect. I would.
What are the
If you're
movies?
I think
saying
we're-
Hold
if
on,
you're saying
hold on,
those things are
Nacho.
bad,
Nacho,
I'm gonna agree
Nacho.
with you.
Nacho. One of the movies she's going to point to, right, is Varsity Blues. You got a problem with Varsity Blues?
Sorry, what's that
It's
movie?
been way too long since I've seen that.
You remember there was that hot teacher, drove the
Could be.
Mustang, right? Worked at the strip club. Guys ended up going there for a senior party or whatever, getting ready for football season, yada yada. You got a problem with Varsity Blues?
Probably. I'm
Really?
just gonna say yeah, just to make sure. Look, I have an issue with a lot of fucking like
Really?
movies that depict like dudes that are like, yeah. I have an
I don't
issue
think
with a
we're
lot
going to
of.
find. I don't think we're going to find one Texan that's going to have a problem with Varsity Blues.
Well, it depends. Like, I don't.
What do you mean
I don't
depends?
think
You
it's-
don't remember the fucking movie, do you? Are you tempted
no,
to
I
comment on
don't.
something that you don't know about? Are you tempted to do
You-
that again, just like Demon Mama?
Hey,
Are
you
you doing
fu-
it again, Nacho?
Wait,
What are you
just
doing?
Wait, you just forced me to. Okay,
Weird champing so hard right now.
you're gonna force me to.
I was
then
just
yeah,
gonna
sure.
say. I was just gonna say that there are a series of books marketed towards young girls, teenage girls, where one of the main characters in the book, and this is, one of the main characters in the book is gets into a relationship with her teacher, and they definitely glorify that. So, and she's like, and that's something that we all read as teenagers, So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I have an issue with the way that fucking a lot of like films or TV shows like depict like younger men like everything has to be about like notches on your belt and shit. Like I have an issue with that kind of shit. So yeah, I don't think it's like okay to glorify like being a fucking idiot, basically. Like,
My chat
not
is weird champing about a
gonna make a
movie called
difference
Pretty
either way.
Little Liars. Never seen it, but apparently
Yes, that
it's
is
also
the book
sus.
series. That's what I think. That's where the book
Oh,
that TV show is based off of a book series, and in that book series, one of the girls is in a relationship with one of her teachers, and it's like a central theme in the books for a while. So,
that's pretty sus.
I mean, even Twilight is weird, but
Twilight's
at least,
mega sus. Yeah.
At least they're not having sex. That's one thing that is good about Twilight is that they don't have sex. You know.
Doesn't
well, where does the
the
baby
main
come
character
from?
have a
What do you
child?
mean?
Or they don't have sex until they're married or whatever.
Well, to be clear, though, you know, she was a high school student, and he comes
he was
along,
like,
80-year-old,
yeah,
you know,
he's like
and
1,000
then
years old.
grooms her essentially into
Yeah.
being his wife. If you go, yeah. Yeah. Did you guys know that only I believe 4 states, it's either 3 or 4, only in 3 or 4 states in the U.S. is it completely illegal for an underage child to marry an of-age man. Only in 3 American states are there not loopholes to allow that to happen.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, look up child marriage in the U.S. and there's some pretty scary data on that.
Yeah, well, there's some weird shit about like a lot of famous like classic rock fucking people that do the same kind of shit. So, like, what's that? I think it's Mick Jagger, or like Tyler Perry, or not Tyler Perry.
Yeah, moves
fucking
like
Tyler.
Jagger have like a totally different
Fuck.
context. Is that what you're telling me?
No, I'm saying that they married, like they were basically betrothed to like 13-year-olds, and they ended up like,
Ugh.
yeah, it's
That's gross.
creepy. It's
You know
really
what?
creepy.
Somebody in chat brought up a good point. Tyson Wine says Twilight was too sus that wolf dude fell in love with a newborn baby. I forgot about that.
Whoa! Oh wait, actually, true. Never mind. I'm seeing Jacob until that. Yeah.
Movies are cringe. I think we could all agree.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree that Netflix Netflix did something smart after the Chappelle special by dropping Arcane because, I mean, listen, at least for me, I was like, all right, well, I'm watching this show. I don't care about Netflix and whatever controversies
waiting on
going on. I want to see
2
Arcane.
pictures, by the way.
Oh yeah, you're waiting on me. I think.
Plus the
I don't know how to edit
werewolves
this.
What are you talking about, Testicle Johnson? There are no werewolves with Red Rocket. What are you talking about? That's not Twilight. I
Actually,
don't know what you were
is-
watching.
That would have been a good next Chaos Cast. That's got to be a topic. Is it immoral to fuck a werewolf in its werewolf form?
We've already had this
Actually,
conversation. We spoke about it.
Vosh
when
was
on.
here for that. Vosh said that he would rather fuck a werewolf than a vampire. So
I think it probably
I-
makes it slightly safer.
Who's seen Queen of the Damned? I forget what the actress's name is, but the Queen of the Damned in the movie Queen of the Damned can literally step on my throat until my trachea collapses. Jesus Christ. Go look it up. Go look up the Queen of the Damned and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Dan, you go horny on Maine a bit too much.
Nah,
he
not
didn't
enough,
do
Stan.
much.
I encourage
just a
you.
bit.
I encourage you.
Randall's a Kuma, that's why.
Since I started taking lock
You'll
and
know
load, I
we've
have
seen
to
his
come
medicine.
5 times a day or it just doesn't stop.
Dude, if you keep taking lock and load, you're gonna have your balls fucking explode.
I'm never going
True.
back. I'm never going back.
What are we doing? What are we doing right now?
We're
Um,
drawing. Are y'all done? Have you
I was
turned in
done
your
like an hour
drawing?
ago. Yeah, I turned in my drawings.
What time is it?
Interview with a Vampire was so good.
Yeah, I gotta get
Hey,
going.
Anne
let
Rice
me
died like a
rename
week
this.
ago.
Hold on.
Yeah, we got to get these
You guys got
drawings in, y'all.
I'm working on it. Okay, I'm trying. Hold on. Okay. What are we? Are we posting the? Oh,
Yeah.
we're DMing it. Yeah, hold
I've read and seen that movie, Lonnie.
You follow
Read
and
the book
listen
and
so
seen the
well.
movie.
Look, I was focusing really hard,
Look, Nacho, I'm sorry for giving you such a hard time, man.
dude. I'm trying
just,
to.
look,
I'm
just-
working on it.
Hear me out, though, right? So I feel bad for giving you such a hard time, but like
There's no George Washington
after,
side.
like, see, you were getting such a hard time earlier, right? And it came down so hard. But then when all of that hard time that you got completely fell apart, and all the stress and tension, and like all of the shit that got built up was gone because they hadn't seen the movie themselves, right? When all that was gone, I felt like, you know what? Now I got to pick on Nacho, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, there. I sent it. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry. My
Fucking
bad.
rolling out those thunder.
Sorry if that was me
thunderous
holding everything up.
jokes. I'm honored to be in the presence of such comedians.
I like how they glossed over the child marriage
You're
laws.
welcome.
It's because stuff.
I think
It's
moral
really
panics
just
like
sorry.
flipping over
Chad has
cuties are more
committed
entertaining
ritual
for
suicide
conservatives
at
to
this point.
complain about, and it's more politically
Sorry.
expedient. So when I
Sorry,
bring up the
Chad.
It's not
fact
your
that
fault,
like
Are they
Tyler.
passing the
every
laws
red
around
state in
the
Blames.
America
Like-
allows child marriage,
yeah.
it's not very beneficial for them to stay on that topic. So it's in their best interest to move on.
Nick, that was a good one, Nick.
StarDust is the funniest whammon political streamer on Twitch. I think
Okay,
we
period.
she
Okay,
already
a
clearly
political
won that
streamer-
debate. So
Political streamer, period. Okay? Funniest political streamer, period. Okay?
Right
That
behind
just-
me.
That just seems sexist.
I can't. It's been a while since I watched the.
I'm
the
sorry,
debate,
A
Xander
lot,
Holt.
of, lot of stinkers in this.
I
lot of
couldn't
stinkers in this
remember what
lobby.
the actual topic was. Okay, but
The
Um,
correct answer is that
I'm gonna
no
call this
political
one the
streamer
bomb,
is
the
funny.
bomb cast. You know, so everybody's trying out their bombs tonight.
I think the only one bombing tonight was you. Okay, but you know,
yeah.
good job.
Guys, I'd appreciate
died
if
and
you don't
lost
talk
my
about
shit in
bombing
Minecraft
on
twice.
my panel, okay? I'm, not about that stereotype.
Yeah, I mean it's
wanna
hard to live
play
up to
into it.
Stardust. So
Wait, what's
we're all
stereotype?
we're all bombing. We're all bombing tonight, Stardust. You're right.
What stereotype?
Can I go now? I'm gonna go now. This is taking forever, and there's nothing.
Yeah,
or
where's
anybody-
where's the drawing,
I
CTV?
think I'm gonna go now. Bye,
I sent it to you
everybody.
in the DM.
My name's DemonMama. I had an interesting time on the panel. Fuck.
Matter of fact, I
most
was
of
the
you.
first one.
Logic, I love you. Zan, I love you. Stardust, I love you.
Okay.
Um,
Well,
Thank
we
you for joining
we
us.
still love
American
you.
Nacho, fall in a ditch. CTV, you're gonna
Okay,
be.
I
DemonMama,
still
join my
love you.
Minecraft server.
Nick
We
DeOrio,
can
I'm
talk-
just
Walden,
buddy.
'cause
We
you
can
lost.
talk anytime.
Hi,
If you want
everyone.
to talk, I had
Hi.
much love. No,
I
nothing but-
never want to talk to you
nothing but
again. You're
love.
really annoying.
Yep, I know.
Still
You don't like talking
Nice
to people who
meeting
challenge.
you.
You don't
It
like
was
talking
nice
to
meeting
people who
you too,
challenge
Nick.
you. That's why you
Honestly,
won't talk to
I called you
Destiny or
some
anybody else anymore. It's fine.
Really? Is this
See you
this
later.
even the
Wait,
Come on.
Nacho, you're doing
Oh
it
my
again,
God.
Nacho. Okay, actually, I do have a bone to pick with you, Nacho. You are actually interrupting everybody. Like, it's not just Demon Mom.
It's
You're
just
interrupting
her.
everybody. It's everybody. It's everybody.
You've been quite interrupty. I'm not gonna lie. No,
Yeah.
no, you know. Let's be real. Let's call it what it is, okay?
Yeah.
Nick, I shouldn't have called you a cunt. That was too far. You're actually
Oh,
quite
I
funny. And
appreciate
it was,
that.
it was nice. I disagree with some of the things that you said, and I feel like you might have mischaracterized me a little bit, but I enjoyed talking to you. But the rest stands for CTV and Nacho. See ya.
Are you still here?
Yeah, I am. You want me to stay a little longer?
Absolutely.
Yes, we do. We would like for you to actually stay
Absolutely.
through. Like what?
Oh.
Nobody wanted. Nobody wanted her to leave.
I actually don't see the drawing from you.
How do you not
Are you
see
sure
it?
you,
Now I'm
did,
big.
did you
Is
Let me
it?
send
Look.
it?
Let me look. Let me look.
Can we be? You really
Oh.
think I was interrupting
Yeah, you
everybody
were.
else? Because I felt like I was just trying to interrupt her. Just
No,
because
you were
she was
interrupting
speaking
everybody.
over
Shenanigans in
everybody.
chat.
Okay, well then to everybody else, I apologize.
Listen, you don't need to apologise to me, okay? I was trying to be the peacekeeper. There's a lot of spice going on. You know.
Well, I was mainly.
Like,
I was mainly just trying to. Go ahead.
Go on. Sorry, you please, I insist. You speak.
I was trying to counteract every time Demon Mama talked. It was like I just could have left for like 15 minutes and watched like some fucking cat videos on YouTube and come back and still known what we were talking about. Like, that's all I was. I was just trying to get other people involved, you know. And then
So
when
was
I
you
was
concerned-
being pushed on, I wanted to say something, but I didn't want to be a dick.
Was your concern the perceived, like, because I mean, you know, this is my perception. I'm from a cards out there, you know. You and me, naturally, we've always gotten on. I'm friends with Demon Mama. I
Sure.
feel that, like, some of her responses, like, maybe there's some were a bit extended, but I don't think it was like, I know you've been hyperbolic, but like, 15, 20 minutes. I don't know if I, you know, I wouldn't characterize it like that personally.
Look,
That's all
I've
I'm
been
saying,
drinking
okay?
a lot, so maybe
Okay.
I'm being hyperbolic. That's what it feels like. So
Okay.
yeah, I could be wrong, but I would challenge somebody to go and like clip it up and just
I
see
like
how
the
long
British
it actually
dude.
was.
It's Chud
It's
Lodge.
I
not
feel
that huge
like-
of a
The timer's
deal.
on the go.
It's just, it's not
I
that
feel
huge
like
of
I
a
would
deal.
almost
It's
put
just
money
that
on it.
Yeah, I
mm,
guess for me, right? Like, I really do not mind at all sitting and waiting for somebody to get through a thought,
Is that a take?
right? Because I understand it, like, you know, if you're genuinely putting some effort into it, that you're probably going to pause a little bit along the way. You're trying to work it out as you go, especially in the panel environment, right?
I do need to buy an RDA.
But I
though,
do find
for-
it like I find it to be like a waste of my time, though. That like when asked a question, I listen for 2 minutes, and there's literally not an answer to the question, and what was said only substantiates that there's no solution to this thing other than the solution that's already on the table. So then, like, that's wasted time for not just me, but for anybody that was listening, because it wasn't like there was anything new contributed to the conversation. And I would say, and that's a genuine criticism, Demon Mama, I think you do that a lot. And perhaps, I don't know, making it a point to not repeat yourself, listen to what other people were saying, contribute new things to the conversation instead of, like, being so ready to just jump onto something and have the mic but not actually use that time for anything. I would much rather sit there and be, quiet and trying to work it out than to just do that to everybody. Sometimes there's a need for filler, but
Yeah.
I think chat understands that as well.
Yeah.
My brain also
I
turns
just
off every
I
time
have no
CTV
problem
speaks.
with it. I like with sorry. Well, okay, here's the thing. Like it's not that big of a deal. It's just that I feel like it actually adds more time onto things when somebody is already speaking a lot and then they get interrupted on top of that, That's kind of like how I feel. Like it's just adding more time on top of it because that person feels like they have to start over a specific point or something. So yeah.
Whenever I started getting to going and like talking on a thing, and then it was just like, hey, shut the fuck up because you've been interrupting people. But it was like I was only interrupting because this thing was running on for like fucking 20 minutes, and it was like, it wasn't like it was anything new to be added to the subject. It was just like a repetition of what had already been said, or like something that was synonymous or analogous with what was already said, which is like a different way of restating what was already said. That's my interpretation. You could pick it
Yeah.
apart, whatever. Maybe
get
I'm
that.
wrong. I'll accept
No,
that.
no,
I've been drinking a
People on the
lot.
panel.
I'm here to have fun. I don't want Demon Mama to leave. If Demon Mama sees us, please come back on. You know,
Yeah, the point's
I'm
not
just
to
here
try
to
to get
fucking
people
hang
to
out and
leave.
have a good fucking time. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just want it to be fun for everybody.
How old is
I
Curly
think
thinking
just,
veteran?
Yeah.
Well, he fought in Vietnam, so.
Let's.
I think
we
she was
ready?
getting frustrated with CTV.
I'm waiting
and
for
Nacho.
Nacho Strong, I think.
Wait, I sent it to you in
Did you hit enter?
DM.
Did you hit enter? Are you sure you hit enter?
Oh, maybe. Fuck
You have to
no,
hit it
I
a
didn't
couple
hit enter.
times.
Shit, my bad.
Hell
That was
yeah,
my
dude.
fault.
This is a baller ass strong. Okay. Let's see here. We're going to go through these.
I think this is the last thing, Carbuncle. I think it's wrapping up now.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. The word was internet, or the internet. This is the first one. Very descriptive.
Mine's the next one, I think. That's definitely the internet.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
That's good.
Okay.
You know, I'm something of a
next one.
scientist myself.
Nice.
Also very accurate. Yeah.
Also accurate.
I'm proud of this one. I'm very proud of it.
Why are you proud of it? Is that yours?
Yeah, I made it.
He's
Yeah.
disqualified.
You're oh wow. What is this? This is amazing. OMG, look at this movie. I don't know what that is. I'm not watching it, but I'm gonna debate it on.
Shit at
If I,
Is
I
that
think I
Demon
can
Mama's?
guess.
Oh my god, shit at 36.
My forbidden desires. Oh my god, is that one man, one jar?
That's
what the
one
fuck?
man, one jar. I'm so glad we can all recognize a stick figure drawing of one man, one jar.
Stop! It's
Tells
the
us all we all have the
Fruit Loops!
same traumatic childhoods.
Jesus.
Oh, the one on the bottom left is Two Girls, One Cup.
Okay, there's this. which I think is also accurate.
The
Oh,
Black
there was also
Void.
Goatsy. Yeah.
And
Oh,
this
that's a
one's
lot of
pretty
dicks.
Dope. This one's dope.
You can have
That's
that
a
as
lot of
wallpaper.
dicks.
You can have it as a
That is
wallpaper.
accurate.
Why are some of the dicks like cut off?
They're circumcised.
That's a weird circumcision. They circumcise 3/4 of the ball sack and 1/3 of the shaft.
Okay. Let me make a last poll, okay? That was quite the panel, I gotta say. That was quite the panel.
Best one so far.
Was it?
How do I?
I feel
I'm
like
having
everybody-
fun.
Okay,
Do I just
I feel
click
like
on
everybody's
somebody
gonna
and-
hate me after this. Okay, let's see.
There we go.
Plethora of dicks is what I'm gonna call the last one we just saw.
Go watch it, Analog Year 5. You won't regret it.
So a pod.
It's hot.
Yeah, one is just like
Oh,
Black
true.
Void.
That's how they travel.
CTV.
Yeah, one man, one
with
jar is
the
worse.
Galaxy brain. Holy shit, pod, bro.
Best moments in
following.
internet history for the one with one man, one jar.
Who here has seen Three Guys, One Hammer? That one really
Me.
fucked with me when I was a kid. That's just a full-on snuff film.
That is.
That-
Do you guys know
one
where
was the one that when I was,
Rotten.com
like-
is?
When I was
Oh,
like
of
11, that
course.
was the one that stuck with me. Yeah.
If it's
Dino
fucked up
Treadmill.
internet shit, I'm all over
Xander,
that.
do you know what Rotten.com is?
Yeah.
God. Sorry. We're all in this together, okay?
You know, I used to browse the 4chan rec threads, and there'd just be like people getting torn to shreds, and you're like, oh, that's a bit much, isn't it? You know.
Dude,
What the
look,
fuck is Three
YouTube,
Guys, One Hammer?
YouTube used to be the
It's
Wild
two Russian
West.
kids beating
There
an
was
old
a
man to death
channel
with a
called
hammer and then
Faces of
stabbing him in the
Death.
face with a screwdriver.
Yeah.
It's just a snuff film.
Do you guys
of a
know
guy
what that
being
is?
Murdered and mutilated.
What was that all about?
Okay. Well, it was literally just people dying.
Oh fucking.
I don't
If
know.
you're looking for
I don't
something
know
a
of
little bit
better
less
way to. I don't know a better
Pull in
way to
chat.
explain it. I don't know what better way to explain it, but it was just all kinds of different. It
Gotta
was
go
fucked
look
up.
at Goatsy to clear my mind after seeing the
Don't
snuff
go
film.
there, okay? Please. Don't.
Needs,
It's fucked
need
up.
to cleanse my eyes with Goatsy.
Please. It was a website.
Okay.
Who here remembers Best Gore?
Yes.
God.
Cake Farts? Cake Farts isn't even that bad. Like, Cake Farts is like tutorial. That's like where you should start, you know? Like, you're 11 years old and you're trying to discover all those horrific videos that are going to permanently poison your brain
Oh.
on the internet. You
Lovely
start
weather
with
we've
Cake
been having
Farts.
recently.
True. What's the
In
weather been
in
like
the
over there?
UK?
It's cold mostly. You know, very very
Damn, that
cold.
sucks.
Got a little,
like the
got a little
cold.
heater. You know, in my little room here. You know, I'm a fledgling content creator. You know how it is. You know, on that hustle and grind, like the J-Reg video at the start.
Okay. In the meantime, I'm tallying up the other ones.
Gotta break the seal again.
Oh, I never did get the link to the number 3 one.
Oh, sure. Big dick cereal mascots.
God, I saw the video of Chris Chan
will
doing
put that
Cake
in the
Farts.
chat.
That exists. Who saw the new Spider-Man?
I did. It was fucking amazing. There will be no Spider-Man slander on my stream today.
It was a good movie.
was a
Spooderman No Go Home was a good movie.
Ah, God, that was everything I wanted out of it. With no
Careful.
spoilers, no spoilers. I think every character in that movie was handled extraordinarily well, especially like the villains.
I'll no spoilers, but I'll say this: if you're someone who hasn't been a big fan of the MCU's Tom Holland Spider-Man, this movie's probably going to change that for you if you haven't liked him very much. Chud Logic, your VTube avatar looks like you're sleeping.
But now,
Your VTuber avatar looked like you had
Yeah.
like slumped over and fallen asleep for a second there.
it's because I'm looking at my other screen. I've got it. Well, you don't need to know what's on there, but I'm looking at my other screen basically.
Oh,
Hey, listen, I said for everybody to look up the Queen of the Damned, and you know, Chud Logic did it, and is a man of culture, to be clear. Who's the person next to Zan? To my left, well, they're all labeled. To my left is StarDust, then the left of StarDust is Nicholas DeOrio, the above Nicholas DeOrio is American Nacho, then Chud Logic, and then Critically Thinking Veteran.
So, winner of the first one is Nick. Winner of topic 2, Chud Logic. Topic 3 is Nick.
What
Wait, no,
was the
not
topic?
not topic 3.
Like
That's
the-
topic 4. Topic 4 is Nick. Topic 3 is Nick again.
Happy Tree Friends was childhood trauma.
And then who did best moments in internet history? Let me see. Oh, that was Chud Logic. But I think overall, Chud Logic won 2 of them, and Nick won 3. So I will be rating Nick.
Actually,
Thank-
raid Chud Logic. I'm probably not going to stream much longer.
Okay, all right.
So Nick gets the moral victory. Congratulations, sir. Well done. Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you very
that.
much. Congratulations to you for winning 2 rounds.
Thank you.
Good job, Nick and Chud.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for joining me. I hope you
Wait,
had
what did I
fun
miss?
despite the chaos of the. I was not expecting it to clash that much, but yeah, I hope you had fun regardless. So. Thank
DM
you,
me on
chat.
Discord with your Minecraft username if any of you want to get onto the Xander Hall Christmas Minecraft server. It's fun.
Xander, I thought you played Rust.
Oh, I play tons of Rust, but during Christmas every year, didn't do it last year, but it's sort of like a channel type thing where every year I do a 12 Days of Christmas server, and I put up the server, it's modded, people can play on it, and it just goes for 12 days from the 14th to the 25th.
Quick question.
Well,
Will have as
you
many
oughta-
Nazis as the one you used before?
Oh shit.
We'll have
What?
Nazis on there. We'll have as many Nazis on there like the one you were on before.
Oh, not like 2B2T.
Okay, not
no.
interested. No, thank you.
2B2T? Wait, you were on 2B2T?
Oh,
What is that?
Did
Xander
it-
got
I
did-
radicalized on 2B2T.
I did like a whole month. I did like a whole month on 2B2T. It was fucking insane. I was
That's
a
cute.
slave.
The
I
oldest
was a slave
anarchy
for like.
server in
Wait,
Minecraft.
did I were you in the gulags? Because I was one of the gulag drivers.
I have no idea. I was a slave for
Was
like
it back
2
in
weeks.
2018? Yeah, you were in the
No,
gulags.
no. It wasn't that long ago. It was like
Oh.
a year and a half ago.
No, that's
So,
okay. No, that sounds
Sort of.
okay.
Like
not
2019,
that
2020.
okay.
I did
'cause
it
in
for
20
Twitch because I started playing Minecraft and people were like, "Do you know what 2B2T is?" And I was like, "I have no idea." I went there
I've
and I got enslaved and it was great. I had a great time.
I've been playing for a long time. What we did was we enslaved when a YouTuber came to the server and like brought a bunch of their fans. There's something we did called incursions, where or just generally players would get together if they were geared. And basically, what we did was we enslaved the new players to break ender chests to get obsidian, and
Oh,
made them
yeah.
build a giant obsidian wall around spawn, so
See,
no
at
new
least-
players can escape.
I wasn't put into that much of a labor camp. I just had to get like wood and stuff, but I wasn't allowed to touch any like wool or anything that could make me a bed. I had to continue to work for my
Yeah,
keep.
they wanted to be able to kill you if you try anything, and for you have to get sent back to spawn. That's why they
True,
didn't want you making
yep.
a bed.
Yeah,
Okay,
it was fun
listen,
though.
I'm gonna bounce and entertain all these people. Thank you very much for having me on. I had a great time, and it's great to hang
Yeah.
out with you all. Okay.
Hey,
Yeah,
Chad, I
good
hope you have a
one.
good day, man. I know you're pulling a long one over there on your side of the pond to
On
keep it going. So,
I'm on that Sigma grind set. You know how it be. Stacking
Hey.
paper.
hey,
Okay.
you know I know.
Okay, right. Catch you all later.
Always a
buddy.
pleasure,
Yeah.
Chud.
See
Always
you,
a
everyone.
Thanks. Bye bye.
All
I
right.
gotta dip
What
out
a-
as well because
What a
I'm out.
swell fellow.
Yeah,
He is a cool
StarDust,
guy.
I
I
appreciate
like
you having
him.
me on tonight, hon.
Thank you. Thank you guys again for joining me.
Of course.
Yeah.
And with that
Please.
said,
Fantastic night. Thanks for having me on.
CTV
Yeah.
out.
See ya.
See ya.